I'm probably the best-known man in the city, Joe Gentile.
Good morning and welcome to the Joe Gentile Morning Show. Sitting directly across from me is the man, the myth, the legend, George Bliss.
Good morning, my good friends. Joe, what the heck, before we get into it, how you feeling today?
Well, the kid had a little accident yesterday. We fell down the concrete steps in the villa.
Oh, wonderful. Let's do the
bruised.
Gentile Center.
I am bruised and battered, but that's okay. The show must go on. By the way, George,
yes.
The Israelis had a big attack yesterday. 2 are dead. It's not necessarily a good thing for peace. These people are supposed to be dividing up the spoils now, and they're not doing it. They better be careful or we'll blow this peace talks too. Philadelphia, there was 2 new systems. They formed a new system in Philadelphia to track planes. It is a very good idea. Maybe we need some new towers in Chicago. We're going to study that situation because that's been a very big bugaboo. The fact, how can you trace planes all over that are landing and taking off? It's a very serious thing. Philadelphia's got a brand new idea. The West Nile virus is getting worse. It's got to be monitored. It could be devastating. You got to be very, very careful. Al-Qaeda, they say, is going to use weapons inside America for the next 2 years. Well, you know, we get these rumors, but we have thwarted these people for the last year and a half. There's been no big attacks in America. That's because we are alert and watching what is going on. By the way, gold hit $359 yesterday. Gold gets high, you see, when things get out of shape and when the economy isn't good. But over the long haul, I don't know that gold is such a great investment. Many people are refraining and being very careful about renewing the interest rates on their houses. There's a lot of gimmicks involved in this practice. Be very, very careful, especially you elderly, that the people aren't taking you for granted and taking advantage of the fact that you're looking for a lower interest rate. A lot of times you get a lot of hidden costs that shouldn't be there, illegal as hell. You got to be very careful. WorldCom is under investigation. They got to change the CEOs. Man, the CEOs of these big companies, they are in big trouble. They've got a license to steal these people. The Dow opened lower, and they're going to hope for a rebound. M-Clone CEO to get a few years in jail. There's another one going to jail. By the way, I think this Sunday is Father's Day.
Yes, it is.
You got to be very kind to your father. Let me tell you something. No ties, please. No ties.
No?
You want to give us something, give us a little cologne, a nice cigar or 2, some pajamas. We can use pajamas.
A new robe.
We can use a bathrobe.
Yes.
We can use some socks.
A coupon for an oil change at Gentile Crystal Plymouth.
No question. Very good, George, indeed.
Yeah.
Golf certificates for some places where the old man can have a peaceful game of golf.
Golf classic tickets.
If you want to give him golf classic tickets, you can give him ball game tickets. You know, bear tickets. These are the car washes. These are the things that you can give the old man. Just don't give him a broken down tie.
No
Come
ties.
on, no ties, please. We can't take it. There's a big police meeting tonight. Hopefully,
Where at, Joe?
I don't know the name of the restaurant. It's Cop Talk is very much interested
Our
in
show
it.
here on WJJG.
Yes, and they're the greatest show we have.
Now, is this the one you missed last week?
That's the one that I drove to with Carol and Annunzio, and it was the wrong night. Can you imagine? It took us an hour to get there.
It wasn't a complete loss, because where'd you have dinner?
We had dinner, delicious dinner at Giacchino's,
right,
which made up for the whole thing. Don't forget our golf classic for the great St. Ignatius High School, July 21st, and of course George will be there. By the way,
yes, I will.
I've got to congratulate George and his wonderful wife for all the work that they do at St. Ignatius. I mean,
mostly my wife, Joe.
But
truthfully.
You do too, George. When they need you, you're there. I'm telling you this. This great school cannot exist without people that help them. And George's wonderful wife, she's there all the time. You know, the kids go to St. Ignatius, and I know they're getting a great... By the way, that was because of Joe Gentile. That's why they went to St. Ignatius. I'm telling you, they're getting a great education. And, George, those 2 kids of yours could be President and Vice President of the United States one day.
Well, the last
No
day.
question.
Yeah, the last day was Friday, Joe.
Oh, was that the last day of school?
For George, the sophomore, and he's going to be working this summer somewhere. I got to get him working.
Well, they need a
WJJG.
little job. There's no question. He can come down and be an intern at JJG.
Sure.
Oh, there you go.
We'll give him $1 an hour,
I could
whatever the
use
hell
an
it
intern.
takes. But that's about what we pay, anyways. So July 21st, the beautiful golf tournament for St. Ignatius. And if you want tickets, there are a few left. 312-432-8406. That's the Golf Classic for St. Ignatius. We will, with that tournament, send between 10 and 15 youngsters to St. Ignatius that would never have had an opportunity of a great Jesuit education. Kane County tickets are also available.
Give us a call, 1-708-493-1530.
Now, they're for July 6th. That's what we're working on now. We've got a few hundred to give away. Be sure you get your name in the book. We are not going to mail the tickets. You have to pick them up here at 5629 St. Charles Road in Berkeley. And if you take the tickets, please use them, or give them away so they are used. That would be terrible. 708-493-1530 if you want tickets for that great game. A smooth traffic morning. A great morning this AM. No trouble, no travel problems. And, of course, like I say, I was a big klutz yesterday, and we fell down the steps. And these are concrete steps, They don't bounce back at you.
No.
There's no giving these steps.
What were you doing?
I am never going to clean those steps again in my whole life.
You shouldn't.
Because what happens, the steps get wet.
Yeah.
You can't even hold and balance yourself. Then you got a broom in your hand. There's nothing to hold on.
Can you sue yourself here? Sure you could.
Yeah, I suppose, but I
Right.
want to tell you, George, I'm hurting all over, but
Yeah.
but we're going to be okay. Greenspan is going to talk about shortage of natural gas. This is something we started to talk about yesterday, man.
Yeah.
If you remember, there's a serious shortage of natural gas in this country. That should never, ever be.
Yeah.
And the pundits are all against George Bush because he wants to cut down a few more trees so he can put in places where you can dig for oil on the West Coast, and everybody's stopping him from doing it. We have a serious problem in this country.
Well, we need trees too, Joe.
But I understand we need trees, but you give them a little room to breathe.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how you prolongate the growing of the trees, by giving them a little room. But in the meantime, now Greenspan, to tell us we have a shortage of natural gas, now that's sucker. He don't tell them nothing but the truth.
Now, this is gas that would come with the gas company, the natural methanes and stuff. You're
That's
talking
no
about?
question about it. So we have got to get some alternative methods for energy in this country. We've got to be experimenting on this thing. And let this president, he's got a good plan. Let's use the damn thing. Today's going to be a high of 78 degrees.
Oh.
Wednesday, 74. Thursday, 76. Friday, 78. And Saturday, a beloved 80. We're going to get a little wet weather this morning and maybe into tomorrow, but that's okay. Yesterday was one of the most gorgeous days I've ever been in my life.
That was the day you fell down the stairs.
That was the day I fell down the steps.
God.
I also went to 2 golf outings. I went to the Chrysler golf outing, and we had a nice visit with Mark Giangreco and all the people from Channel 7. And then last night I went to Cog Hill for another golf tournament dinner for all the dealers in the whole Midwest. A very noisy place, by the way. You couldn't enjoy yourself at all.
Where's that, Joe? Cog Hill?
Cog Hill, just too noisy. The food was horrible.
Do you know my sister works there?
Does she indeed?
I'm going to tell her to get some acoustical
Well, they better
tile.
do something. And the lotto numbers, if you're interested, 95 million in one and 7 million in the other. The lotto is 2, 3, and 1, 5, 2, 7, and 8, 1, 4, 8, 9, and 14. Good luck to you all. I hope that you all won.
And if you get a winning number and you did hear it on WJJG, of course you owe us a small 10% finder's fee.
No, yeah, well, we can say that, but we can't collect that.
That'd be nice.
Now, what is the most annoying thing on television to you? Has anybody got an idea? If you have it, 708-493-15 thing. I'm going to tell you what my most annoying thoughts are about television.
All right.
I hate kids doing commercials on television. I am telling you this.
I absolutely. I don't like it done here.
They are atrocious.
Yeah.
You can't listen to them. They're elongated.
Mm-hmm.
When in the name of common sense did they decide to give kids the shot to do commercials on radio and television?
Kids and puppies sell product.
Well, I don't know that they do because they become very annoying to me.
Make you feel warm and fuzzy.
And also another thing that's very annoying is a commercial that is done so fast that you don't hear a word they're saying because they're subject to a 30-second commercial, a 40-second, and they got to get it all in.
Yep.
Not on JJG.
No, we take
we
our time.
take our time and we enunciate properly. So those are the most annoying things on radio and television to Joe Gentile, and maybe they are to you too. The Cubs were off yesterday, so were the Sox. And Sosa is going to appeal today. I think you'll get
Joe, I haven't talked to you about it.
But that's okay. We will.
Okay,
but
because you're going to be surprised what I'm going to say
that's
about
okay.
this.
I want him. I think they should cut him to 5 days.
Oh, Joe, come
Just
on.
a second, just a minute.
Joe?
The man has been great for baseball. It's not an ordinary ball player you're talking about. You're talking about a guy who hit 500 home runs, and they weren't illegal home runs. I'm not for him. He needs to be chastised. I talked to Carlton Fisk yesterday at length,
What did
the old
Carlton
White
say?
Sox catcher, and he said, give him both barrels. He deserves it.
Wow.
He deserves the punishment.
Now, why would Carlton say that? Who never broke a rule, went by the book.
That's what he said. I said, would you come on radio and say that? He said, no, I won't, but I'm telling you that he deserves every shot at the book because he was wrong. He's supposed to be a role model to kids, and he did wrong, and that's the story.
But you're saying, Joe, go from 8 to 5, and your reasoning is what, Joe?
My reasoning is because it was an isolated case. There was one bat. They didn't find any other bats out of 75. Of course, they probably hid them. Who knows with that? But I'm saying to you, he's wrong. Not a full-fledged wrongness, but he did do something that was despicable. He lowered his prestige all over, and when he goes on the road, they're going to boo him incessantly.
Yes.
Now, they're not going to boo him in Chicago, but they did, and they will on the road starting today.
So you're saying give him the penalty, but make a couple less games.
Yes.
Because they only did find the one.
That's right.
The prevailing logic
and that's
today.
also, George, because the man has been tremendous for baseball. You can't compare him to Rose. This guy pulled the wrong bat. I believe him, too. I think he's a pretty sincere type guy, and that's only my opinion.
Right.
I think that's the opinion of most Chicagoans.
Most, yeah.
Now, we don't know what they're thinking on the road in New York and Brooklyn and St. Louis. We don't know what they're thinking about Sosa, but I think he's well-liked all over the United States, and that's only my opinion. He's going to appeal today. A kid named Kelton came up for the Cubs, too, a rookie.
That's the kid from Iowa, Joe? That's,
he's supposed to
came
be
up for Troy.
He's supposed to be a pretty good ball player.
I'm going to tell you more about Troy later, okay?
Yeah, the Sox play Frisco with Bonds.
Would that be Barry Bonds
with
and
Barry
Ray Durham?
Bonds and Durham is coming. By the way, Durham is hitting .320, by the way. Pretty good. And Thomas, in the last 12 games, has hit .450. You got to leave him on first base forever.
Okay, now let me. I was talking before you came in, Joe.
Yeah.
You and I sat the day that Jerry Manuel was introduced as the new manager to the White Sox down with the Sox Fest. I don't even know how many years ago.
Oh, yeah, we were
said,
there.
Jerry, hi, I'm George Bliss, the PR guy for JJG. Said he wanted to meet you. We sat down with Jerry, and you said, I think I have it on tape, Jerry, keep Frank at first. Why should he only DH? Why should he get lazy in the dugout? And I had some side comments as well because my friend was his personal trainer, Walt Pasternak from Phoenix, Arizona. And sure enough, Joe, they took a little pressure. Konerko came in, had a great year. And Frank is kind of lazy. You know, we know him personally. And now that they put him in, just like you suggested, he's doing well. I believe that when he sees the ball, you're going to laugh, when players are in the game, he's more focused. Frank needs focus. He's lost his focus. No, he's not pretty good on defense. I'll tell you that.
But that's right. He's
but it doesn't
adequate.
matter. He's not even adequate. He's kind of below average.
He's adequate, George.
But now that he's in the game, he's killing the ball. So, Jerry Manuel, listen to what we told you 5 years ago. We have it on tape. keep him in the game so he keeps his focus.
You're 100% correct, George.
And you said it, Joe.
Well,
why would you put him DH?
Well,
he goes, well, Joe, the whole 9 yards.
Well,
What do you
Joe,
got,
on the line
Manny?
with us right now is a friend of the station, Leo Casateri. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Leo.
Good morning, Giuseppe.
Buongiorno. How you feeling, Leo?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Well, we wanted you to come in, but you're not feeling up to par, and I understand it, but I'm glad that you called.
Well, thanks. First of all, when you talk about what irritates you on television,
Yeah.
Joe, I think these commercials are horrible. I don't know what they're selling.
Yeah. Well, then not only that, Leo, but some of these commercials on radio and television, because there's a time element involved, they read the commercials so fast you don't know one word that they're saying. Do they know how annoying that is?
Oh, God, Joe.
And are these stations so pressed that they can't give you another 15 seconds to give a decent commercial?
No, they're just trying to, the old saying, they're trying to pack 5 pounds of crap in a 3-pound bag. Don't forget, I did commercials for 35 years, Joe.
I know you did.
And I know good commercials from bad. And what's going on today, they call it advertising, but I call it crap. And, I agree. One of the other things, I just want to tell you that's what's annoying to me. And then there's always one commercial after another. I mean,
Yes.
What kind of selling is that? Before I can decide what they're trying to tell me, we're on a new commercial. It's more confusing. You're right on Sammy Sosa, I think, Joe. I really believe for.
Now, don't say that to agree with me, Leo.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Joe, you know better than that.
All right. Okay.
I just feel that way about Sammy. He's got to come down a little bit in his arrogance, though. I'm not saying.
But I don't know that he has arrogance. I really totally believe he does. I think he's awfully humble for a superstar that he is. You realize that the other day, unheralded, he got his 2,000 hit.
Oh yeah, they stopped.
You'll notice all of a sudden he's only hitting singles. Has that got anything to do with the bat? Is that psychological?
No, it has to do with the chemicals that he was taking, Joe. I mean, it's known, Joe. I mean,
he's taking chemicals too. You
Joe,
think?
those steroids. Mark McGuire, now that he's retired, has lost 2 sizes on his shirt. Barry Bonds, who's still taking them, has grown 2 sizes on his hat. We know this from the clubhouse kids that work there. I mean, the other major stations know all this, Joe. It's a serious subject.
They're saying that too, Joe. I don't know if this is right or wrong, but that's what they're saying, that he stopped with the steroids, and he has shrunk a size or 2, and I don't know, but I just wish they get the game straightened out. But wasn't that electrifying playing the New York Yankees?
Yeah, it was.
That was just like a World Series atmosphere. That was the greatest 3 games the Cubs have played there in the last 60 years.
Truly.
Truly excitement par excellence. And they came into their own, Leo. The Cubs can play with the best of them. And I'm telling you this, they are no fluke.
No.
They are a decent, a better-than-average ball team that can win any game they play. If this team hits, nobody can beat them.
Let me ask you guys a question, okay?
Yeah.
I happen to be a Bellhorn fan. I really like the kid.
Yeah,
but
well.
he's not hitting. What the heck happened to him?
Well, I think psychologically he's in a funk, number one. I don't think he ever was a great ball player, though he hit 20, 25 home runs the last couple of years. They're great people.
Right in the heart of the WJGAG listening audience. On July 25th, that's July 25th, from 9 in the morning to 1 o'clock, the Bloomingdale Park District Gymnasium. They're going to have the senior fair there, Joe.
Oh, how nice.
Senior fair, right at the Westfield Middle School. By the way, that's located in Bloomingdale at 149 Fairfield Way, and the council has just done great things there. The Food Council with Rosa and Joe Simadustra, Frank Scratel, Nick Schiavone.
Frank Scatchel.
I got it. Scatzel. Oh, that's Scatzel, the guy from the
Yeah,
Vale
that's
Boys.
him. He's very, very, very big. Go ahead.
Nick Schiavone.
Nick Schiavone's another
I
star.
want to say it in Italian.
Good guy.
And they met with the catering and the golf people, and they discussed the continental breakfast they're going to have and what
I
they're
didn't
gonna
invite
serve.
me. I'm ready to go. What day
Really?
is that? When is that?
That's going to be July 25th, 2003 at Bloomingdale,
Is it,
Illinois.
what day is that?
When is July 25th? What
I don't know. You gotta
that's a
have a
Friday. That's a Friday.
That's a Wednesday.
Is it?
Oh, July?
July 25th.
I don't know.
Well, Friday, I think, Joe, but we'll look up that.
Yeah.
that real quick.
Friday.
Anyway, they're going to have
And
almost
what time is it?
9 in the morning till
Okay.
about 1 o'clock. So that's got to be a
Yes,
Saturday or Friday.
I have to get a limousine to get me there.
There you go.
They're going to have food there, Joe, coffee and pastry, etc., and deli sandwiches. And the publicity committee, Frank Salvino, John Safari, and Detective O'Doy. Wouldn't that be amazing? We're going to see them too. They're going to talk about summer programs. They're going to talk about the homeowner situation out there. And Joe, if you want to have like a little setup there, a little table, you can get a table and a chair and an extension cord, and that'll be provided by Sandy Johnson, our good friend Sandy Johnson. And they might want some volunteers too, Joe. So give them a call if you can. And it'll be a lot of fun on July 25th in Bloomingdale, the Senior Fair.
Well,
So-
you did a fine job. What do you got, Manny?
I would like to mention one more time for all the listeners that this Friday we are honoring Our Lady of Pompeii, and Father Fragamini will be in the studio. So
This is very, very important. All you wonderful people that belong to the parish, who have helped the parish, who at one time or other belong to this parish, we need you to help us to make this a great, successful Friday. We're devoting 2 hours to Our Lady of Pompeii, so help us celebrate a birthday or of something like that, a celebration of this beautiful shrine.
You know, Joe, we've made some modifications in the in-house studio here
Yes.
at WJJG in
Yes.
Elmhurst. We're located in Berkeley for some of our listeners that may not know that. I know our transmitter's in Elmhurst, and also we have a transmitter in Oak Brook. But we have a beautiful picture you just put in, and I just kind of mini emotional, Joe. Picture of your great dog Gentry looking out the window of the studio that we've moved here into the main studio, and I'm
Yeah,
holding
it's
the
an
picture
absolute,
now.
you know, that was a dog.
It's a backlit picture, Joe, of the dog standing at the window of the studio,
he was
looking out
very-
to the parking lot.
He was a very inquisitive dog, to say the least. And there he is with his beautiful head. What a beautiful dog.
Yeah.
You got to come in one of these mornings or afternoons to 5629 St. Charles and look at all the beautiful pictures
We have thousands.
we
here,
now
literally.
have on
Yeah.
the walls. I
Yeah.
think it'd be very interesting. Don't forget, July 21st, the Joe Gentile Golf Classic for St. Ignatius. It's at Silver Lakes in Orland Park. Get your tickets right now, 312-432-8406. And don't forget to go to see my dear friend Dewey Deo at 800 North Wells in Chicago. The most beautiful contemporary furnishings you have ever seen in your life. You have never seen furniture like at this fabulous place. SAVO's Dewey Deo is the owner. 800 North Wells in Chicago. Telephone number 312-287-9060. And don't forget Gigi Dolls and Sherry Teddy Bears. What a great couple they are. They've got a great doll emporium at 6029 Northwest Highway in Chicago. 773-594-1540. And they say they have some more prizes for our golf tournament. I think
Wow, that'll be fun, huh?
I think that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Dr. Wayne Chekowitz. Don't be in pain. Call Wayne. If you've got muscle aches and pains like I have today, you need Dr. Wayne Chekowitz. He's at 708-656-7000, and he's in Cicero, Illinois, 3602 South 61st Avenue.
You could use
Dr. Wayne Chekowitz, who will be here in the studio for a treatment for me tomorrow, and then I believe he's on from 9 until 10.
Couldn't
or
be a
10
better
to
time,
11.
right? I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah, I need
10
a
to
treatment.
11.
Right.
You
Because
could use
I
one
tell the
today.
people, do you remember the old boxing movie with Rocky where his hands are all scarred up? Well, that's
Yeah.
how Joe's hands look here.
No, yeah,
you know,
they
because
are
we were on radio
banged
today.
up.
Joe did a small tumble down the stairs here. Now, folks, Joe's all cut up here. He's not going to make too much about it, but I mean, you should see this. It's not funny. But Joe, you got your butt beat up here while falling down those stairs,
Yeah, I
my
know.
friend.
It's one of those things. And
But
you
he's
know,
still on the radio. That's why he's still in the car business after 50-plus years.
well, you know something.
you make it through.
You got to keep going. If
You gotta keep going.
If you stop, George, they throw vegetables at you anyway. So
Tomatoes.
don't forget Ray Iozzo, our tensorial expert hairstylist. He is the best in the business, no question.
California Concept
708-531-1991. He's at 3 Westbrook Corporate Center in Westchester. That's 22nd and Wolf Road. You can't beat the great Ray Iozzo. He's a personal friend of mine for over 60 years. We want to say happy birthday to Brian Garza. That's his birthday
Aw.
today.
Yeah, hi,
Big
Brian.
B. Tomorrow we'll be talking to a great
Mark Giangreco.
Mark Giangreco at quarter to 9
Channel
tomorrow
7.
morning. We
Yeah.
will have the big guy on with the kid.
That'll be fun.
We want to thank Bill Baker for all his help with the Kane County Cougars. If you need tickets for the Kane County Cougars, we have them available. If you want to buy some, call 630-232-8811. That's the best buy for your buck. Joe Gentile Chrysler and the Kane County Cougars. You can't beat that combination. In the meantime, if you look out the window, you'll see the Lord sent us probably a gloomy, rainy day today. We'll see what happens. Put your arms around somebody today. Today we put our arms around George Bliss to thank him very much for subbing in this morning. That was very kind of you, George. In the meantime, Maddie, whom do we have to thank?
Well, of course, we'd like to thank all the listeners equally for tuning us in this morning. Of course, George Bliss for stopping by and co-hosting.
Oh, I had fun.
Cherry Asphalt with Shadow Traffic. Amy Caller, Don. Who else do we have?
We missed a few calls, by the way.
G-Man.
I don't know who they were,
That
but
wasn't my
that's
fault.
okay. That's not your fault.
We'll let it go.
In the meantime, though, stay tuned for the great programming that follows. We're on the air now until 8 o'clock this evening. If you want to buy time from 7:30 to 8:30 at night, we have it available, and we'll stay on another half hour for you. And if you want to
Absolutely.
double your business, this is the station. Call us at 1-708-493-1530 if you're interested in increasing your business. If you're not, forget about it. Don't do anything about it. WJJG is at 15:30 a.m. on your dial. Our phone number is 1-708-493-1530 and 40. So don't forget, sign up for the great WJJG. Hopefully the Lord will let us be back with you again tomorrow. We got to go home and get rid of some of these aches and pains. We love you dearly. And if you're smart, you stay tuned to this fabulous station.
IBC show today.
I have BC with the Nunzio.
Italian Broadcasting
We might
Company.
go to that cop meeting tonight, Nunzio,
Yeah.
if I feel strong enough, we'll see. In the meantime, we love you all dearly. See you subsequently. Whew, that was
WJJG Elmhurst.
I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A senior Hamas leader says he escaped an Israeli missile attack in Gaza because he jumped out of his car when he heard the helicopters. The man was injured and had surgery while 2 bystanders died.
Bush have been too quick in criticizing.
Well, I'm always with Paul Paletti, who's selling real estate now. Great guy. You know, I did all, like I say, I did the visual merchandising. I talked to you a few times. I'm also a personal shopper. I'm looking for that new Crossfire, too.
I
The
got it.
dealership.
We got it. You come in and order. You get one of the first ones you can get. But if you're hanging around with Paul Paletti, you're hanging around with a lot of class. Let me tell you.
All class. All the guys that were the new membership. You know who all the new membership is.
Well, I don't know.
Half and half, whatever.
Yeah, I know. But that,
You said, but you're part of the best, just like all of us.
yes, thank you so much. I wish you well, and good luck to you. And if you see Paulie, put your arms around him. We love you, Donnie. Thank you
All
for
right,
calling.
Thanks, thanks, boss. I'll see you
I'm
later,
going to come
boss.
and see you, buddy. Okay.
Okay,
A
boss.
pleasure talking to you, gentlemen. Take
Thanks,
care.
buddy.
All right, bye.
Okay, and on the line with us now is the finest traffic reporter we have at WJJG, Cherry Asphalt. Cherry, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I hope I'm the finest because the other choice was Corey Morris, and I hope I'm better than Corey. But on the roadways, people aren't so bad this morning. It's 25 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose on the Edens on the outbound side, a half hour out to Lake Cook. On the Kennedy inbound, it's 46 minutes O'Hare to downtown. It's 46 also back out to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower stacks up from Mannheim to Austin. It's 40 minutes north-south tollway to the post office.
Well, you know something? We got a new sponsor, nice young kid. Well, folks, it's summertime, that time of the year when thoughts turn to home improvement. Time to spruce up the interior and exterior of your fine home with the dependable people of Deluxe Painting and Plastering Home Services. At Deluxe, quality, not quantity, is our main goal. We do quality work at reasonable prices plus senior citizen discounts, along with interior and exterior painting, drywall repair, and old-fashioned plastering. We offer a full range of handyman services. No job is too small, and satisfaction is guaranteed. We have over 20 years of experience, and you won't be disappointed. So please call us at 1-708-482-4895 for a free estimate, and you'll be glad you did. Call us at 1-708-482-4895, and be sure you tell them you heard about us on the Joe Gentile Show. 708-482-4895 for all your painting needs, because they're the best in the business, or they wouldn't be on the station. God love you.
God love him.
God love him indeed. By the way, the Pope, God bless his soul, he ended his 100th trip.
Wow.
This beautiful Polish prince, fighting fatigue, but determined to carry on. Pope John Paul II wrapped up his 100th foreign pilgrimage Monday in Croatia.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
The 83-year-old Pope sets out again in less than 2 weeks for Bosnia.
Wow.
He doesn't stop.
Joe, have you ever seen anything like it in your
No,
history?
I haven't. I think he's the greatest
It's
Pope in history.
Oh, yeah. for
Sister,
sure.
of course, I have a nun, God love her, Sister Mary Mortuary. She's my best, she's one of my best friends. She said he's the worst Pope we have ever
Why
had.
did she say that, Joe?
Because of his encyclicals, and he doesn't give the women the shot in the church, nor will he allow men to marry, because he's from the old school, George.
Yeah.
You got to get a new modern Pope in there one of these days to upgrade the church
Well, let me
a
go
little
to that
bit.
for a minute. What do you think about the priests getting married?
You're
a leading Catholic in
I am
Chicago.
I am for it 100%.
Okay. See?
And I am for the ladies becoming priests also, because the ladies are an integral part. You go to Mass one morning, any church you want to go to.
Anywhere, yeah.
90% of them are women in Mass. Now, don't tell
That's
me
true.
they are the
core,
backbone of the Catholic Church, these wonderful ladies. So they
right.
deserve a bigger part in the church, and I am for them being ordained.
You know, speaking of Polish, another Polish princess, my good friend Nina Dionisio, she called here on the cell phone and said she agrees with you, some of your comments this morning. We also want to say hi to her son, Joe. Her son, Ray Dionisio, just went to Kuwait. He's a Marine. Just got into the Marine Corps recently. He's over in Kuwait now. So we want to say hi to the Dionisio family. We love
What do you got, Maddie?
Well, Joe, since we are talking about the church, I would like to mention real quick to all the WJJJ listeners, and on Friday's show, we are honoring Our Lady of Pompeii.
Oh, my, you know something? I haven't announced that. It totally slipped my mind. Friday is going to be Our Lady of Pompeii Day.
And who's going to be in the studio?
And, of course, Father Fragamini.
Oh, my favorite.
Father Richard Fragamini will be here in person with us, and maybe he'll call in this morning. We can talk a little bit about what we have planned. But this delightful shrine that he heads and is doing a marvelous job needs help, like everybody needs help. And so Friday we're going to devote 2 hours to the great Our Lady of Pompeii Church, and they really and truly deserve it. So all you people that listen from that beautiful parish, get ready to call in with some ideas, and above all, let's get some big checks in here that day.
What do you think Father thinks about the priest thing you just mentioned?
Well, I don't know. Father is a little bit of the old school. I think he probably would agree a little bit with the Pope. I haven't asked him that question.
That would be a good one.
And that's kind of an unfair question to ask him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Bit. Why so, Joe?
Well, because then he's got to venture an opinion as a priest. And, you know, if he's in the priesthood, he's got to follow the rules and the regulations of the Pope in Rome. So you understand.
I learned something.
You
don't want to put him in that position.
No, you don't want to put him in that type of position, because it's a very difficult position, to say the least.
Okay.
Well, anyways, at Erlacher, like I said, we visited with him yesterday. And, of course, the U.S. Open is coming this weekend.
Yep.
And Tiger Woods will be here.
Yep.
I've heard of him.
Well, I don't know how if we can get to him, but New Jersey won the Stanley Cup. So that's over. Who the hell cares? But in the meantime, it is over, and we got a big weekend coming in Chicago with the U.S. Open.
All right, and right now it is Chicago's hometown station, and on Chicago's hometown station, we like to play Frank Sinatra. Here's some Frank.
WJJG Elmhurst.
And I think you'll have a whole lot more fun doing it.
Okay, buddy.
Mornings on AM 1530 WJJG.
Well, you know, in the studio with me is my dearest friend, George Bliss.
You never say what you mean.
No, I do. I wouldn't say it, George, if I didn't. Here he called him in at the
I love
last
that.
time, and he got here before I got up. He was here ready to go. You don't find friends like George Bliss, let me tell you. He's opinionated as hell, and he should be. He's tough, but he can deliver, and that's very, very important. And speaking about delivering, how about a little television?
Okay.
Late night show with David Letterman's got actor Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this guy, let me tell you, this guy's a good actor.
He is.
And he's in a lot of these shoot-'em-up pictures that are great.
Die Hard.
He was married to
Yeah.
a beautiful girl.
Oh.
I don't know what happened to that
Well,
marriage.
he's a head case. Demi Moore.
Demi Moore, she's a very, very
Absolutely.
beautiful young lady. But this guy's coming into his own. He makes big flicks that really and truly count.
Yeah, tens of millions of dollars.
Tens of millions of dollars, and he's going to be on with Dave Letterman. Jay Leno's got actor Josh Hartnett.
Who the hell's that?
And music group The Heart. I don't know either one of them.
Yeah.
Late night with Craig Kilborn, actor John Corbett,
Oh,
and
yeah.
actress Mimi Rogers.
Oh, Mimi Rogers was married to Cruise.
Is that
Tom
right?
Cruise had all kinds of women, right?
I don't know.
I think so. Mimi Rogers.
Not
Call
a-
us. if you
I
know.
don't like him, never did.
You don't like Tom
No,
Cruise?
I don't like him. Late night
All
with
right.
Conan O'Brien, actress Juliana Margules.
Oh, yes.
And actor Michael Chikoulas, another Greek.
Another Greek boy.
Kind of
Kala.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, actress Cherry Orteri, and rapper Bone Crusher. Now, Matt knows Bone Crusher, I'm sure. In the meantime, later with Carson Daly, journalist Geraldo Rivera. You know, he's
What do you like
kind
him?
of passing. Nah, he's okay. He's, he just wants it. When the light goes on in the refrigerator, he goes on. That's how
Joe,
the
if that guy
is.
did what he did in World War II when you in Okinawa, he would have been shot immediately.
Probably so.
But today, because it's open journalism, and I think it's
Right.
okay.
Midnight
He didn't.
Express. There's 4 movies on Midnight Express with Brad Davis. A Walk in the Clouds, and Nothing to Lose, and Rocky 5. Now, they love the Rocky movie.
Rocky
I like
5.
I just like
Adrian.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. In the meantime, though, George, Duncan's school budget is going to go and going to raise our taxes, and we're not going to allow taxes raised.
What happened to Paul
Because
Vallis?
of schools. That's what happened. Our Greek friend could have saved this whole state. We'd be in the black, I guarantee you.
Absolutely.
I have no use for this Arnie Duncan. I don't know how he got the job, but he's not going to save the schools by raising the taxes of the people that can't afford it. And we are absolutely against raising any taxes at all. Start up another gambling casino, Arnie, if that's what you want to do. Put a gambling casino in Cook County. You don't have one. It could save the damn schools.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this Mayor Daley is waiting for about putting a gambling casino in Cook County. All the rest of the counties have gambling casinos except the one that needs it the most, Cook County. So, Duncan, you're on the short list with Joe Gentile, and don't dare try to raise those taxes, especially on our veterans and our elderly. That's an absolute killer, which will not be allowed, I guarantee you. We want to also congratulate John Carpino, who's now the chief of police in Willow Springs, my dearest friend for at least 40 years. You clean up that town, well, the town is in pretty good shape anyways, but Willow Springs, you got a new comeuppance, pal, because you got a tough chief of police.
Watch out.
Who is absolutely ruthless and will not allow anything wrong to happen in that beautiful town.
Well, right on the line with us now is Shadow Traffic's Cherry Asphalt. Cherry Asphalt.
Cherry Asphalt, you got one more time and you're canceled. She's canceled.
She's canceled.
In the meantime, don't forget an open house at Loyola Institute Paralegal Studies, July 17th at the Water Tower campus.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Contact us today to learn more about your options. Dial 1-866-569-6522 for the great Loyola University. We have a school of social work, a school of education, a graduate school of business, and an institute for paralegal studies. You can't beat the great Loyola University with 215 academic programs and more than 130 years of experience.
Amazing school, Joe.
Loyola University Chicago prepares you for a lifelong success, and we also treat the human spirit.
WJJG is proud to present Rick Beseda with the Angry White Minute.
Legalize stick-up. Hocus pocus, here we go again. The Senate just passed another welfare treat disguised as a tax cut. How disgusting to see a good patriot like Representative James Traficant, whose bills help reform our burdensome internal revenue system, sitting in jail while the rest of his colleagues are hell-bent on performing legalized thievery by sticking up the American taxpayer without a mask. The Senate is heading for a segment of society that does not pay any income tax to begin with. This theft perpetuated on the American taxpayers by these physical neophytes who don't seem to quite understand how our income tax system works, as they defy the laws which encompass their perimeters to govern. You have to physically overpay your tax to be entitled to a refund. Instead of overcharging the people to begin with, creating a surplus for Washington to sink its greedy mitts into, a fair and impartial watchdog committee should have been monitoring this rip-off scheme all along. Now it's the same old story, another government atrocity perpetuated on the American taxpayer to garnish votes to keep these anti-American tyrants in power. When it comes to cutting government waste, here's an idea I'd like to propose. Cut the Senate. Just slice it right off the legislative body. They have proven once again that they are a bunch of useless anti-American idiots. Our founding fathers intended the Senate to be a body of wise-thinking statesmen. Over the years, it has been transformed into a group of busybodies whose tentacles stretch into every facet of our life. This great body of senators, whose finest hour has come and gone with the regulation of our toilet bowl capacity, could do all Americans a favor by leaving office. Our federal government must immediately mandate a Surgeon General's warning about the dangers of electing these incompetent jackasses to public office. Competency tests should be required and administered, not by the politically connected quacks that make their parasitic living off the backs of the American taxpayers and the pharmaceutical industry. No way. Competency tests by the politically connected patronage hustlers won't do. We'll give them competency tests in the neighborhoods, in the back rooms of some of the places where I used to hang out, like the Gigolo, Mr. Lucky's, or the Trip Lounge. We'll sit them down and sweat them out, asking them questions about why they insist on governing by Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto instead of the United States Constitution. We'll ask them how in the hell does it state in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution that it's okay to transfer our personal property, our money, to other people, just because our elected officials see fit to pander for votes. Vote pandering. That's what it's about. The greedy Clintons, the gun-grabbing Schumers, and the pot-bellied, triple-chin, excommunicated, drunken, scuba-diving millionaire Teddy Kennedy will always be around to pander for votes and to seize power, if we let them. Maybe it's time to change the whole course of government and move to elect a benevolent dictator. I know a couple guys that would work real hard to see this new type of government installed. They're patriots, ready and waiting in the back rooms of places like the Gigolo, Mr. Lucky's, and the Trip Lounge. I'm Rick Beseda. The full text of my commentaries can be viewed in the Federal Observer at www.federalobserver.com. Until Friday, be good, little boys and girls. Don't smoke pot and buy a new Chrysler from Joe Gentile.
And that was Rick Beseda with the Angry White Minute on WJJG. Heard every Tuesday and Friday right after 8 o'clock. And now, more Joe.
Well, in the meantime, don't forget your solid waste company are servicing your account from Wall Street. Well, they better not be. If you got Flood Brothers, they're taking personal care of you. 773-626-5800. Not only that, George, but they clean your garbage before they take it away. That's literally and figuratively.
Yeah, this is one of the most interesting companies I've ever heard on any station. I'd like to meet these guys.
Well, they're great. They're all from St. Ignatius, by the way. All their fathers and grandchildren all go there.
Flood Brothers.
And your garbage company changed names, changed owners. How many times?
Many.
Whose name is on the truck today?
Do you
know who you talk to? Well, you know you're talking to the Flood Brothers.
They clean garbage.
They are the best in the business. And Gymnastics, you can't beat Gymnastics, the Academy of Addison, where kids come first. 150 South Church Street, Unit E, Addison, Illinois, 630-628-9445. Enroll in these sessions and get a discount of only $125. You can't beat Gymnastics Academy of Edison, July 7th to 11th, and August 4th through the 8th. They have very, very special deals that are going on. You can enroll in both sessions and receive second session for only $100. Gymnastics Academy of Edison, where the kids comes first, and all you grandparents, if you want to give the kids a great gift, give them gymnastics so they can take care of themselves for the rest of their lives, and they will be a lot healthier youngsters, I guarantee you. Don't forget your health. This is important. Every day we talk a little bit about health protection, and of course smoking, lung diseases, stomach ulcers, all from smoke, mouth and throat cancer, bladder cancer, bone disease, pancreatic disease, plaque in the arteries, cataract development, heart attack, and stroke. So you better quit smoking, because you can reverse some of these problems significantly if you do.
Yeah, you can. Remember, stop smoking. I've been trying to stop smoking for a couple months now, and it's not working.
What is the definition of cataract, by the way?
Cataract is a covering.
Isn't that a
that
Japanese
builds,
Cadillac?
No. I thought you were serious, George.
But
in the meantime, you caught me with that one.
Ah.
But in the meantime, George, you know
Yes, sir.
this. You've got to really study and know what you're doing, because if you don't go to my dearest place on the south side, 95th Street, to have a ball, you go with my friend there. What's the name of that beautiful place outside?
Drury Lane, you mean?
Drury Lane
They're closing
South.
the one out south. of course.
Well, that's a rumor, George. We hope that that's not true, because that would be devastating to shut my friend John Lazara out.
Mm-hmm.
If you want tickets to some of these great venues out there, you dial 708-422-0404. That's at 2500 West 95th Street at Evergreen Park. That's Drury Lane. Charlie Pro should be on with us next week. The Platters, the Mills Brothers, Donald O'Connor, Dick Contino, Debbie Reynolds, Mickey Rooney, Jim Neighbors, Lou Rawls. They're all at Drury Lane South, 2500 West 95th Street in Evergreen Park.
Chicago's hometown station, and also Frank Sinatra station. Here's some Frank.
Where is this great club? This club is at 4401 West Roosevelt Road in Hillside. And Gentile can be seen every day there between 1:30 and 2:30 taking steam. Now, I don't know if I'm in shape to take steam. I got to plug up this hand that's all beat up. But we may show up there. Maybe we can use a little steam to take care of some of the muscle pain that I'm feeling. They've got sauna and whirlpool, steam rooms, racquetball, updated club facilities, fun group fitness classes, 4401 West Roosevelt Road in Hillside, 708-449-2255. It's a great, great organization. They care about people, and they give you personal service. You can't beat these guys at West 38th Athletic Club. Don't forget Pescatori's Palace, the finest Italian seafood you've ever tasted in your life. 3400 North River Road in Franklin Park, 847-678-0895. Vito Barbarante and Frank Pellegrino are your hosts, and they do a fabulous, fabulous job. I have never had a bad meal at Pescatori's Palace. How about limousines? Man, we got limousines.
Yeah,
ABCE Limousine Service, 1-800-947-5466. Red carpet weddings, we can take between 10 and 14 passengers at a time. That's fantastic. You go to sporting events, dinner engagements, school events, proms, homecomings, bachelorette parties, airports, door-to-door service. Richie does it all at ABCE Limousine Service. This is the time for limousines. 1-800-947-5466. And don't forget the greatest bank in the country. Gentiles deals there every day. The National Bank of Commerce. 5500 St. Charles Road in beautiful downtown Berkeley. 708-544-5500. Personal service. You can't beat it. You can talk to the president himself, Dominic Pontano. They care about people, at the National Bank of Commerce. George, there's
Yes,
a
sir.
subject that we want to talk about.
Oh, I'm going to love this one now.
And that's smoking in restaurants, and where is it allowed? Where should it be abolished, and what should we do about it, George?
Well, here's where it stands. Alderman Burke of the City Council, Eddie Burke,
Yeah,
a
big-
guy whose kids went to Ignatius, by the
Yeah,
way.
they did.
He wants to ban smoking flat out in the city of Chicago at all public institutions. That, of course, includes the restaurants. Now, let me give you my side of it for a minute, Joe.
Yeah.
Most of the people that I know in my family, not that we're experts, want it. They don't want the smoking in the
Are
restaurant.
they smokers?
Boy, that's a great question. I would say by and large, no.
Well, that's your reason.
But, Joe, here is the logic that has been twisted like pretzels, like you can't believe. Most people think that are on the edge of it and are arguing about it think that if you ban smoking in restaurants that the business will go down. Nothing could be farther from the truth. In California, pretty big state, right, Joe? 40 million people. When they banned smoking there, restaurant business went up. Now, you can argue all you want with the people from the liquor companies. They all say it'll go down. It'll ruin more business. It's going to go. Here's why, Joe. Most people today in society do not smoke. And a lot of people will stay away from a restaurant that's heavily smoke-filled, those steak bars, those cigar bars. And you yourself just said off the air, Joe, that you smoke a cigar, but you would never smoke one in a restaurant. But many people do, Joe, and it turns off the women a lot. And that's our side of it.
Are you talking about cigar smoking or cigarette smoking?
Both, Joe, both at this
Okay,
point.
let me tell you my opinion of this. And I think this. I think that cigarette and cigar smoking should be banned in all public
Good
places.
for you, Joe.
In all public places. But wait a minute, that doesn't make me right.
No.
I do think that smokers have a right. What their right is, I don't really know, but they're going to have to sneak smoking. You'll see all people standing out in front of big organizations every 20 minutes. You'll see a group of them out there. They're not visiting, they're smoking.
Amazing, isn't
Because, well, it's too difficult to stop.
Right.
It's a difficult habit to break. There's no question.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that if we pass the rule and stop it, everything will adjust normally, somehow or other. People will adjust that can't stop smoking. They'll find ways to smoke, George,
Mm-hmm.
but they won't be affecting me, a non-smoker, in a restaurant. Now,
Right.
the other day, I had dinner on the way home at a Greek restaurant, by the way, in Palatine, a great restaurant. Carol and I had a nice dinner. Two ladies behind me, they were smoking cigarettes. They must have smoked 10 cigarettes apiece, and all that smoke is filtering into my dinner.
Terrible.
And I want to tell you something. It affected, and I'm a smoker.
Sure.
And it affected me. And I was going to turn around. I turned around 5 times. They must have got the hint. But they didn't stop smoking because
They don't have to.
they're in a smoking area.
Right.
Smoking or non-smoking, they ask you when you walk in.
Sure.
Does that stop the smoke from filtering into my dinner next door?
It does not. Now, Joe, they banned it on airplanes some years ago.
Oh, well,
Can you
that's
conceive today?
That's done.
Can you conceive that it was loud?
Well,
At
you
one
know,
time-
you could always go in an airplane and smoke in the back. That's how they used to work it.
Right.
Trips to Vegas, in the back, everybody was smoking. All of a sudden, one day, a directive, no smoking, and nobody smoked. They wouldn't even think of smoking.
Nobody complained too much, I don't think.
And did it stop people from traveling? Hell no.
Heck no.
And so it will not stop people from going to restaurants.
So
They
true.
got to stop it.
That's the key.
Not only that, if I don't know if you're aware of these statistics, George, but 50% of Americans in the last 5 years have stopped smoking.
Well, that must mean
That's
a trend.
tremendous.
Yeah, that's a great trend, isn't it? I mean, to get it down.
Well, it is a good trend for health
Mhm.
because even if you stop smoking, for 10 years, that stuff is still in your lungs, pal.
Can you imagine
and you
that?
can still get lung cancer from it. Now,
Wow.
I've been smoking cigars since I was on Okinawa in the 40s, okay?
60
I still
plus years.
smoke maybe a half a cigar a day, maybe a little bit more. Well, I don't inhale it, but, George, it's in the system.
Sure it is.
And I know it bothers a lot of people. I smoke in the car, in the privacy of my own home,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I smoke. I don't smoke. If I'm outside, I'll smoke.
Right.
I wouldn't even take a cigar to a ball game and smoke it.
No chance. No
I'm
chance.
just telling you.
Yeah.
So these people that think we shouldn't stop smoking, they don't know what they're talking about.
True.
Nobody's going to stop you from smoking per se. Nobody's going to make you put on a seatbelt.
They think business is going to go down in the tavern. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Nothing.
Well, that is the position of Joe Gentile, right and wrong or indifferent. I mean, I don't know. We certainly like you to call up and give us your opinion. 1-708-493-1530. Should we abandon all smoking? Should we still have smoking areas in restaurants?
Right.
Now, then the people that have taverns and cocktail lounges, they're going to moan like hell.
Well, they have been, Joe. They have
and
been.
Ditka, he's incensed.
Oh, the cigar bar, yeah.
That piece of garbage that he is, he's incensed by it, okay? Yeah. People that own smoking facilities are incensed.
Sure.
But, George, it's got to happen.
Joe, speaking on almost the same subject, and I don't have the details in front of me. We'll have it for you tomorrow. But now they're going to start taxing fatty foods more so than the average.
Well, they ought to, because we are surrounded by fatty foods. There's no question. If you go to these fast chain food stores, that's all they have is fatty stuff that'll kill you. You know, they try to come out with these newfangled salads all the time, but, you know, they fry with grease. The meat has grease. And the restaurants that broil, that's the one you should eat.
Gotcha.
McDonald's doesn't broil. That grease stays right in that hamburger.
You know it, so they're going to try to work on that. The health groups are going to do that.
Well, and that's what we wanted to talk about. I'm really concerned about the smoking and the non-smoking. Let's read for a minute the agenda of WJJG. We want 3 airports. We got one closed already, Miggs, which was a fallacy, and it's something that Mr. Daly will live with the rest of his life. We need to expand O'Hare, and we certainly need a 3rd airport somewhere. You've got to think 30 years down the road with something like this. You can't go by what's going on today. You got to think about the future in this country. Is aviation all over? Hell no. It's going to get bigger and better. There's no question. Because the economy is down now. It's not going to always be down. So we need these airports, and we need preschool. A must for all youngsters. And all you parents, you better start teaching your kids when they're very young. Get them in a preschool. Parents must take better interest in their children's education. We've got to test all the teachers and all the principals, because you've got a lot of scallywags out there teaching, have no business in that profession at all. Many unqualified teachers and unqualified principals, by the way, who take home half of the money. We've got to change the speed limit in the state of Illinois. 55 is absolutely ridiculous. We can go up to 70, and then we'll start issuing tickets. There's no question about it. You've got polluted trucks out there. They've got to be taken off the highways. Very, very important. They must be taken off the highways. You got to change the drinking age to 21. Kids should not be allowed to drink under 21. We've got to dedicate September 11th to Heroes Day. We've got to make that a national holiday. Not a free school day, however, but a national holiday. If you got a problem with drugs, you can dial 1-800-HELP. That's 1-800-HELP, and they'll tell you what to do and where to go. Cell phones in cars, if you've got to hold them in your hand, they ought to be abandoned. Smoking age should be changed to 21. And we need belts on school buses. And that's, I think, important. So those are some of the agenda that we want to get passed here in the great WJJG. If you got any of ideas that you want to add to that or detract, please give us a call at 1-708-493-1530.
All right, Joe, on the line with us right now, he's got a problem with the smoking, or he wants to make a statement about it, is George. George, welcome to the show.
Hi, George. Well, you lost George, pal. That's great. In the meantime, if you've got an answer or a question that you want to call us about, 1-708-493-1530. There's nothing disturbs me more, George, when I got a call and then I don't have a call.
Well, they got to hang on, Joe. You never know if they hung up or a board went down.
So, we gave you the agenda of the station, and there's many more things that we could talk about to help this great country go further. If you've got an idea of what you want to add or subtract, from this agenda. I wish that you would
I've
call.
got one. Everybody should take a civics test, a strong civics test to understand the Constitution, to understand the Declaration of Independence, and some key historical things in our country. Because kids that graduate from high school don't even know what happened in Hiroshima. They don't even know about
Well,
that.
that's because
they should know that.
Wait a minute, they got to be taught that in school.
But I mean, they should have a test.
Let them have a test, George.
A strong civics
but the
test.
teachers are not qualified, George.
Oh, that's
because
bad, Joe.
That's what they have to do every day for 15 or 20 minutes. They should have history lessons in the classroom.
Especially these
to
key
tell
American
them about
things.
American history.
Especially these
what do
key
you got,
events.
kid?
I got Denny on the line. He wants to make a comment about your agendas.
All right, Denny. What do you got,
Hi, Denny?
Joe, you got a full plate, the agenda, WJJG.
Well, that's only half of it. Well, can you add something to that?
Well, the smoking thing. I'm a smoker, and and it's embarrassing sometimes because you have to respect other people, right?
No, there's no question about it. Would you smoke in a restaurant?
Well, here's what I was thinking. What do they do in the gambling casinos? They have maybe a designated area?
I don't know. I haven't been gambling for a long time. I don't really know. I don't know that they allow you to just have only certain areas in Vegas that you can smoke.
Yeah, well, I know. I saw an ad for one of the casinos, I think in Joliet, and they said an air filtration system. Maybe, it's going to cost them money, but
now that's worth your life, isn't it?
Cigar bars too,
Well, what do you think? Should they ban it or not?
He's a smoker. He don't want to ban it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Can't you give it up?
Oh, I need to. My cardiologist yells at me every time I see him.
Probably should give it up.
Well, go to Loyola. They'll shut you off.
I went to Northwestern.
Well, that's okay. We all make mistakes now and then. So let me ask you this. We're talking about banning. What do you think about the cell phones?
Hands-free kit.
That's it. That's ours.
You don't touch the phone. You push a button.
Well, that's the way that should be. What do you think about the speed limit?
My family lives in South Dakota. It's 75 out there.
Well, that's a bit heavy. I would think we should give the people.
Well, they have wide open space.
Yeah, there's nothing in North Dakota.
Well, okay. First of all, I think we should give the people 70, and after 70, you get a ticket.
Yeah.
And there's no question.
Yeah.
Well, what about the other items we talked about?
Well, the schools. I don't know. I got mixed emotions about that. Maybe they could come up with some kind of for the seniors and veterans. Don't get me started about veterans.
Well, that's terrible. They're taking all our benefits away.
Well, I go to the VA and.
You see Jimmy Sarno out there?
Pardon me?
You see Jimmy Sarno at Hines Hospital?
No, I don't go to Hines. I go to the Lakeside one, but they're like letting it die.
Well, there's no question about it. They don't care about our veterans at all. It's horrible.
Somebody needs to light a fire under those people.
Well, that's what they need to do. There's no question about it. What about the drinking age?
Yeah, it should be 21.
It's fine. Drinking age?
We're not asking you, Maddie. I'm asking this customer.
Well, hey.
What do you think about the drinking age?
21.
I think that. So you agree with us. What about the new holiday, Heroes Day, September 11th?
Absolutely.
Well, I think we have a pretty good agenda, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Well, so let me ask.
You mentioned my neighborhood. I'm in Beverly. You 95th Street. The Drury Lane is right down the street.
Well, you know something. We have a lot of kids that live in Beverly that went to St. Ignatius High School.
Yeah, I moved here just before St. Patrick's Day. I found that out.
Well, that's wonderful. Do you listen every day?
Yes, the signal isn't the best down here, but I got a good radio. I put it by the window, and if the wind is blowing the right way, I hear you.
That's what you have to do. Well, God love you. Thank you for your interest and for your own good health. Stop smoking.
I know.
Bye-bye, big guy. Thank you.
On the line with us now, Joe, we have Amy. Amy, welcome to the show.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, how you doing?
What's up, Amy?
Not much. I'm getting ready to go to work right now.
Where do you work?
At a brokerage firm in the city.
Isn't that nice? So you drive to the city every day?
Nope, take a train. I'm not going to drive in the rush hour.
Atta girl. What type of work do you do?
I'm just interning right now to maybe become a stockbroker, but probably not.
She's young.
Well, you want to be a stockbroker. You know, that can be a lot of fun. That's not as easy as everybody thinks. You got to be very versatile on the phone to be a good stockbroker.
Yeah, well, you got to read a lot of newspapers every day.
Now, George tells me that you are taking the Italian language.
I do a little bit.
And what do you think? Are you Italian?
No, sono tedesca.
Tedesca, you're Irish.
No, German.
Well, don't tell anybody.
Why?
Because it's not popular today. Don't tell anybody. And don't for sure tell anybody you're French.
Oh.
Well, then you got a problem on this station, I'll tell you that right now. Now, what do you think about the Italian Romance language?
I think it's beautiful. It's much more beautiful than German or French.
Well, German is too guttural, you know. It's not a Romance language.
No.
But Italiano, quando è parlato giusto, è una bella musica. It's a beautiful, beautiful language.
Molto bella.
Yeah, we speak it fluently. I think the language is just beautiful. And not only that, Amy, but it will broaden you. Have you been to Europe?
Yes, I just got back from 4 months in Italy.
Oh, my goodness. Now, where did you stay in Italy?
I lived with a 62-year-old woman from Naples.
Napoli. And did you go to Rome?
I did go to Rome and Venice and Siena and Sicily, Florence.
Oh, my, Florence is a beautiful town.
That's where I was living.
Well, Florence is the capital of culture.
It is that.
It is the most beautiful city I've ever been to in my life. Let me ask you this. Did you go to the Vatican?
I did. It was
And?
beautiful. I saw Michelangelo's Pietà and I bawled.
Isn't that nice? They went to
Yeah.
the Pietà. It's right there as you enter on the right.
It is. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I can visualize almost every inch of the Vatican. I've been there 20 times. And I'm going to go again in September, and I can't wait to go back to the Vatican.
Take me with you.
Let me ask you this. What is your fondest memory of Italy?
My fondest memory?
That's
my
what I
dinners
said.
every night. I don't know.
Huh?
I would say my dinners every night.
Oh, your dinners. Come on.
Yeah.
There's more to dinners than in Italy. There's rich
I know, but with the
tradition and
family
history.
and-
What'd you think of the Colosseum?
It was phenomenal.
What about the Via Veneto?
It was beautiful as well.
Well,
The
sure. there's-
Coliseum, though, has scaffolding all over the middle now. It's kind of
Well,
sad.
we're cleaning it up. You know, it took forever to clean the buildings in Italy. They're still cleaning them. I mean,
Yeah.
they've had such dirt on them for centuries. It's time that we cleaned them, and we are. What did you think of the Trevi Fountain?
The Trevi Fountain was actually off when I went because
Yeah, it's
the
most of the
president
time
Fiat
they're.
had died.
Yes, that's right, honey. You know, Amy, they're working on the Trevi Fountain all the time. It's never on.
Yeah, they did it in remembrance for the president of Fiat when he passed away.
Isn't that something? Well, I am so glad that you called. Do you listen to
too.
the station at all?
This is my first time.
And you're on, and now you're the star.
Well,
now
she's going to come and meet you, Joe. I told her a lot about you
George,
yesterday.
just a minute. You can also listen to this program at 4:05 this afternoon.
That's it.
So you'll be able
4:05.
to hear yourself what we talked about. What's your
Fabulous.
last name, Amy?
Becker.
Beckert?
Yes.
Well, that's okay. Are you both mother and father, both Germans?
Yes, very German.
Good people.
Well, that's okay. I guess that'll be all right. Anyways,
I'm German,
the
Joe.
point that I'm saying to you, Amy, is I hope when you went to Rome you took a lot of pictures,
I took tons of pictures.
because that will always be
4
in your
rolls of this Rome.
yeah that will always be in your memory, Amy. That's the most beautiful country in the world.
It is amazing. I
And
love
then
it.
you know something. Next time you go, Amy, you got to cross over into Switzerland a little bit.
I did. I went skiing in Interlaken.
Isn't that Interlaken beautiful?
It's gorgeous.
It's clean. It's the cleanest country I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yes.
Switzerland. And the Swiss
River.
people, they are fantastic.
They are so friendly.
Well, you know something? You know, Amy, you got a great education with travel already in your
I
life.
did. I know. It's phenomenal.
And you know, you got to have those memories, Amy. You got to remember by pictures. You know, it's very, very important because thinking about it, it makes it like you're still there.
And I kept a journal every day.
You what?
Kept a journal.
Journal.
Oh yeah, that's very, very important too. We're like I say, we're going in September, and I just can't wait to go. Did you go to see the University of Loyola in Rome?
I did not.
Well, okay, next time you go,
But
you
next time I will now.
you
Free
go
day.
see it because there's a wing named after Joe Gentile there
I
in
know.
Rome.
George let me know that.
But I'm just saying this to you, that I'm so glad you called, young lady, and I wish you well in all your studies. I know you're going to be a huge success. And be sure that you stay tuned to 1530 from now on.
I will do that, 1530.
Goodbye, darling. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Ciao.
George, thank you very much for finding this young lady.
I heard her talking Italian yesterday at the airport, and I said, were you just in Italy? And we talked. She had a big delay on her plane as I'm at the airport recently, and I said, have you ever heard of Mr. Gentile? She had not, but I said, well, he speaks Italian quite well. She goes, I'd like to try it on him. And nice little girl, Amy, 21, 22 from Glen Ellen, Illinois, working downtown, and literally wants to move to Italy, Joe. So isn't that an amazing thing?
Yeah, it is indeed. Well, I'll tell you, the town, the city, and the country is ingratiating. Believe me. And let me tell you something else.
I'd love to move there, Joe.
The people are warm toward Americans. Yeah. There's a big difference,
That's so
George.
important, yeah.
You go to France and Germany and all these other countries, they don't have respect for the Americans like the Italians do.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. When I tell you why. The Italians want you to speak English. They don't tell you to speak Italian.
That's very
because they're
interesting.
going to learn your language because they know where their bread is buttered, George.
I'm with you, yeah.
Tourism is everything
Of course.
in Italy. Look what's happened to Israel. They're shut down. There's no more tourism. They're losing billions of dollars a year in Israel because nobody's going because they're afraid to go. And France is down 50% from last year.
Doesn't
Why?
surprise me in the slightest.
Well, because they treat us like dogs.
Yeah, and no one still understands why.
Well,
where do the jealousies arise at?
And
Joe?
now you understand we're trying to figure out why. Well, how can you not figure out why? They slapped you in the face in Iraq.
Yeah.
They were going behind our backs, wrapping this country to everybody else.
Sure.
This Chirac, or whatever the hell his name is,
yeah.
from France.
Chirac with the
So
job.
then let's not go to France anymore. The hell with them.
Nobody's
Spend your
going.
money somewhere, or spend your money better in the United States than going away.
Absolutely.
Anyways, I'm all hopped up about what do you got there,
It's
Patty?
time to break at the station, Joe.
Oh, break at the station.
43 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Georgia Until Morning Show will be right back after this quick break.
Yeah.
Gymnastics Academy of Addison, where the kids
fight parking every day. And the volunteers, I found 99% of them are teachers. And they're off for the summer. And they just enjoy being a part of Festa. And it works out very well.
Well, you know something? I know John Troncala. You give of yourself many, many times during the year. But do you get paid a little bit for this trip you take to Milwaukee?
Oh, definitely I get paid.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that because I know how many trips you make and you don't get paid. Gentile has never given you 32 cents. However, though...
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Yeah, okay. Now, let me ask you this. John, have you set up with this youngster that sings like Sinatra for this program tonight?
Yes, we actually just had a cocktail together and we discussed what he's going to be singing, and we're all set.
Well, I again, John Troncali, I can't thank you for being so kind to Joe Gentile and WJJG. You are uniquely different, Troncali. You are a whale of a guy, and I am so happy to have you for a friend.
Well, thank you, Joe, and I'm happy to have you for a friend. Oh, I just got kissed.
Bye-bye, baby.
Mr. Rubaletti, queuing in 3, 2, 1.
In the meantime, here we are at the 15th annual Joe Gentile Golf Classic for St. Ignatius. And somebody who's been with me, I think, Rubaletti, for maybe all of them, or 12 or 13 of them.
12 or 13.
And he's always the MC, and he helps me sell, and we sell, and we raise hell, and we make a ton of money for Ignatius. I want you to know, Thomas, that through this tournament, we have sent 100 kids to St. Ignatius, and some of them are doctors today.
God bless them. You did a hell of a thing, Joe. You're a good man. You're a good man. I remember the first one of these, and we were wondering if we were able to sell it out, and from what I understand, you had to refuse people, which is a great thing, Joe.
Yeah, now next year we will have 400 golfers.
Unbelievable.
Which is unbelievable, and you know something else. You see, and I know you believe this too, Thomas, but education is the answer to all the problems in this whole wide world. Without education, you have nothing. And our station is based on an education. Now, Thomas, what are we currently doing? I know you are a jack of all trades, and, well, you were a Bono Beef. You did a big job with those people. Did they deserve a plug? I'll cancel it.
Good people. Good people. Right now I'm doing consulting work on my own, Joe. I'm writing manuals, training programs, and stuff for companies. So if anybody out there is looking for a good consultant to do something, tell them to get a hold of me. I'd love to work with them.
Now, where can they call you?
They can call me at 630-400-9908.
Now repeat again what you do, Thomas.
Consulting work. I write training programs. I put together operation manuals or organizational structure things to help companies get on the right track.
Well, these companies need a hell of a lot of help these days, pal. And I'm not kidding you. Tom Rubaletti, I must say this, we go back many years together. In fact, we raised hell with the Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame. We were a couple of mavericks, but that's perfectly okay. You notice where they are now.
Absolutely, Joe. And I tell you what, you haven't changed. I love you. when you called me to come here, the hair on the back of my neck stood up, but I'm here for you, buddy, anytime.
Well, let me tell you something. I called Tommy. I figured, it's like, who the hell's going to help me? I called him, and he came out here in an hour and a half. I love you, baby.
Thank you, baby.
As another kid.
And we're with Chuck Cannon now in 3, 2, 1.
Well, we're at the 15th annual Joe Gentile Golf Classic for St. Ignatius, and I happen to be here with a man who goes back with me 60 years. Nobody believes that, but Chuck Cannon goes back, and he's been promoting Joe Gentile for the last 60 years, and he gave me more prizes for this golf tournament than anybody else. Chuck, I can't thank you enough.
Well, it's for a very good cause. Just as you said, we've got to educate the young children. We've got to put them in this frame of mind that they know what they're doing. And not only from me, but from Gigi's Dolls and Sherry's Teddy Bears. And we want to make sure that the education keeps going, because without education, which way can you go?
You can't go anywhere.
Right. Now, as I understand it, St. Ignatius is introducing football again, which you were a football star in your era, and that's going to make it that much more advantageous that you not only have a curriculum in education, but you have a curriculum in sports and activities.
Well, you know something, that's true. I tried many years ago, Chuck, to put football into St. Ignatius, and the Father Rowe at that time said, no, we want an education. And I thought maybe he was right until I just talked to Father Paulson. And he said, and he gave me the answer. Well-roundedness is the answer. And so I've got to go along with him, and we're going to give him a check tonight so they can buy uniforms for all these kids, and that's okay. But I'm just saying this to you. Tell us a couple of little things about how you got started in the advertising business.
Actually, I started many years ago with Roland Victor Libinati. We had the New Generation newspaper in Little Italy, which was a tailor in Blue Island, and the New Generation papers. Then I worked with the Citizen newspapers, and right now I'm writing for Senior Connection and the Journal newspapers in the entertainment field. And as I said, I go back with the Three Stooges. I've worked with Gable, I've worked with Crawford, I've worked with Bill Bendix and Peggy Lee. These things just come slow but sure. It's hard work, just like promoting Joe Gentile Chrysler up on Barrington, the Baron of Barrington. These are the things you have to keep doing. You got to keep telling. It's show and tell. And you got to tell them.
Well, there's no question about it. When you're in the sales game, you never stop selling.
Never.
And everybody that's got a car is a candidate for Joe Gentile. So it gets going. And yes, sometimes though, Chuck, you get a little tired too.
Well, you got to bolster yourself to keep going, because what you're doing for St. Ignatius is you're building a foundation of citizens. You're building qualified citizens to handle, because with what's going now in the stock market, it's a shame. But with educated people, those things won't happen.
There's no question about it. And let me say something. Education is the answer to all our problems, Chuck.
This is all that we can educate our children. I have 4 children. They're all educated, and I'm sure you've done the same thing with yours. You said your son is working in New York and your daughter's a model. This is what the education does.
Yeah, well, they both got a tremendous basic education, and without that, they got nothing. But in the meantime, I must thank you, Chuck, for all your kindness to me in all these many years.
Well, we will keep it up, and whenever you need me, just call me. We'll work with you.
Thank you very much, Chuck.
Jimmy Sarno with Joe, and 3, 2, 1.
We're at the 15th annual Joe Gentile Golf Classic for St. Ignatius, and next to me is the commander. Oh, yeah, he's the guy that put it all together. The Joe Gentile post number 2, he was absolutely great. You can't keep talking, I'm on the air. In the meantime, Jimmy, how you feeling?
Excellent, Joe. We're very, very good. Considering our ages,
we both need shots.
Yeah, we're comparing our
but that's okay. Jimmy's going to take care of me because I've got a little problem. There comes that television that I've been waiting for. In the meantime, Jimmy, let me ask you this. What's going on at the great hospital?
Well, we just turned over some buildings to Catholic Charities, and they're rehabbing them for $4 million for housing, for, homeless, alcohol and drug, temporary housing. We're starting in September a brand new rehab center for $40 million, $40 million rehab center for the blind, the paralyzed, and
Jimmy,
so
do
on.
we have any new nuances or new tests that they're going to give the veterans that they can go and avail themselves of?
There are brand new ones all the time, Joe. I know currently, I always say, I'm working on one for the shingles that I'm involved in.
It's going to be terrible.
Yeah, we've got one more year to go. I took the shot they gave us about a year ago. It's a 2-year test. If it works, it'll be on the market in a year, and it will avoid you having shingles.
Well, I had shingles about 10 years ago, but that was a virus I got from a draft. Let me tell you, Jimmy, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Well, they say it comes from, basically it's the virus that stays in your body from chicken pox or living in a city like Chicago where you've been here 30 years, you've been exposed to that virus. And it stays in your system until you get older. And then when your immune system weakens in a certain spot, that's when it comes out. And there's no way of them telling where.
Jimmy, if some of our vets are listening, you want to give us a phone number where they can get you at the hospital? I'm talking about Heinz Hospital.
It's 708-202-2571. And that's direct to my phone.
Now, let me ask you this, Jimmy. When's our next meeting?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow? So soon? Oh, my God, we got to go eat again. Oh, that'll be a lot of fun, Jimmy. Well, you know something? I respect you an awful lot, Jimmy, and I thank you for being my friend, and I thank you for all you do for the veterans.
Joe, thanks for your help doing it.
Well, we're supposed to do that. We love you, Jimmy.
Take care.
I know that you are pressed for time, Father, so we'll do this as expeditiously as we can. In the meantime, I don't know if you know that St. Ignatius is going to go back to football next year. Yeah. After a 40, 50-year hiatus, this young Jesuit started football again. Isn't that fabulous? Yeah. And in order to help him with this new football team, by the way, we're only going to have a freshman team this year.
Well, a year from August.
Oh, yeah, whenever it is, Father. Meantime, the point that I'm saying is that when I played at St. Ignatius, we didn't have proper uniforms at all. And I still have bad knees to prove it. And we used to play in a quarry behind the school. Now, of course, we're going to have a beautiful place to play. And so that maybe he could help outfit this new team, we're going to present him with a check for $10,000.
Here we go. Pictures first.
Pictures first. Okay, go ahead.
Get a picture of Joe's knees.
You know, they're bad. They're bad. Okay. We don't need more.
Yeah, one more.
All right, Father. Okay. Now you can say something.
That's why we need uniforms.
Carol and Joe, thanks so much. You've been there for St. Ignatius when it has had many turning points in its life. That 1965 gym certainly needed a facelift. At a crucial time, you were there for that. And then when we needed to clean up the stairwells going down there, you helped Father Ehrman with that project. And now when we want to get football going, you're there for us to help give them wonderful uniforms. We believe we have just hired our head coach for the program, and so you will be reading about that in some of the fall publications, and he'll be in the social studies department, and an excellent teacher by all of the recommendations and references, and has a wonderful track record of having turned around struggling programs, so he knows what it takes to build a program. No, his name's not Mike Ditka. So stay tuned, and we're sure it's going to bring a lot of excitement to Ignatius for years to come. It's all about giving kids opportunities, and football is one more opportunity for another group of young students. So thanks again. Have a wonderful evening.
Were we broken up or something? Joe told me that you and I broke up, and I didn't like that because I know when Joe breaks up, nobody gets back together.
No, it's not true. That's not true. You know, Jimmy, I love you. I love you, Jimmy Damon.
Well, I want to know how you doing.
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
Listen, we're doing so good. I'm so proud for what Joe and Carol have done and all of his friends. And first of all, to have you come from your restaurant, your successful restaurant, to celebrate this great golf outing is something special for all of us. So go ahead and sing.
It's an honor for me, really. And I thank you very much. Bon appetit. Get this to Judge Gentile and Carolina and Carol. He doesn't know how to open the phone. Katari, perché mi dicesti parola amore, perché ma pare io gorma per me da Katari, non ti scordare che t'ha girato cuore Katari, non t'ha scordare Katari, Katari, che appena dicere sto parlando non sposi non c'è pienza sto dolore mio, tu non c'è pienza tu, non te l'auguro. Ora confessori sto a soffrire perché la sta a soffrire non si può credere, sta a soffrire non mi strazia, io confessore che persona santa, marito figlia mia, lasciala stare, lasciala stare.
1530, your hometown station right here on the greatest radio station in all of Chicagoland, WJJG. Our phone number is 708-493-1530, 708-493-1530. And if my voice sounds a little bit odd, that's because I'm just filling in today, yours truly, the Community Relations Director of JJG, George Bliss. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Friday show. I'm looking at the dates, and it's absolutely February 1st. Can you believe it? February 1st. We're here. It's snowed about 12 inches yesterday here in Chicago area, and it was pretty heavy on the western suburbs and the southern suburbs. The northern suburbs didn't get hit too bad, but I think Joe and Carol are on a little vacation right now, probably enjoying some warm weather, so they understand what's going on. You know, later today, we're going to have in my good friend Phil Thompson. Phil Thompson, very, very well-known veteran in the Chicagoland area. He's going to talk about Veterans Affairs a little bit. He's also going to talk about employment. And then a little bit later in the hour, we're going to have a singer, Tom Fuller, like the Fuller Brushman, Tommy Fuller from Geneva, Illinois, who recently finished a CD. And I heard the CD the other night. It's called Till I Found You. I'm going to play it a little bit later. So you tell me how you like that song. We played a little Natalie Cole there. You've heard of Natalie Cole, haven't you? I mean, I saw her about a month ago in downtown Chicago at the Cadillac Palace Theater, and she was singing on behalf of the St. Ignatius Benefit Fund. St. Ignatius, of course, our host high school here on WJJG AM 1530. And, of course, the great Baron is an alumni of the St. Ignatius College Prep School, then on to Loyola. But she sang 3 songs there. Mr. Melody, This Will Be an Everlasting Love, and I've Got Love on My Mind. So if you want to give us a call, you know, I'm not here that often. I mean, I take calls from anybody. I mean, if you're living under Wacker Drive, or you're living in a mansion up there in downtown Chicago, it doesn't matter. We have the whole gamut of guests here on AM 1530. But you have to remember one thing. It's called the old phone number, 708-493-1530, 708-493-1530. I also want to hear your comments on who you think is going to win this Super Bowl game, which starts Sunday at about 5:20 Central Time. It is the St. Louis Rams. I still have trouble saying that. The St. Louis Rams with Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk against Tom Brady and his New England Patriots. And that would be really the Boston Patriots. I mean, New England, come on. There's only one city in all of New England that counts, and that would be Boston, by Boston Harbor. So we've got the Boston Patriots this Sunday versus the St. Louis Rams. Who do you think is going to win that one? I welcome your comments here. We have open lines today. 708-493-1530. We'll be back.
So, the greatest fortune cookie of them all, the greatest Chinese restaurant you have ever eaten in your life is the fortune cookie. And where is the fortune cookie? It's at 570 North Smith Street in Palatine, right off Highway 14. You will relish the food. You will love the service. The quality of the food is exquisite. I've eaten in many hundreds of Chinese restaurants, but nothing can compare to the fortune cookie. What a great, unique Chinese restaurant. Try it today. If you don't like the food, Gentile will pick up the tab. This is Joe Gentile for the 100 South Restaurant in Elmhurst, the Chop House, finest food. What a variety of dishes they have. They are all Frank Sinatra. The drinks are exquisite. These two guys are fabulous. Ranieri and Spilotro. They're the best in the business, and WJJG is behind this restaurant 100%. By the way, they are now going to be the sponsors of the 2-hour Frank Sinatra show. Don't you dare miss this beautiful 100 South restaurant in Elmhurst. It's the best.
And we're back here at AM 1530, your hometown station in beautiful downtown Elmhurst. Transmitters located in Oak Brook, Illinois. George Bliss here at 708-493-1530. Again, that's 708-493-1530. Sports last night. Let's go with the top teams in college basketball. Number 1, Duke defeated North Carolina 87-58. Number 3, Maryland came from behind there. Yes, Maryland 91. Number 8, Virginia 87. Oregon, the Oregon Ducks. Now, I'm saying this correctly. Oregon beats UCLA, who was number 13 until last night. They beat them 91 to 62. Oh my goodness, Oregon beat UCLA 91 to 62. Stanford 90, Arizona State 81. And Arizona 68, California 58. Southern Cal 64, Oregon State 51. Let's go to the one and only Frank Sinatra. We love him. You know him. Bewitched. This is one of my favorite songs. AM 1530, your hometown station. Oh, my goodness. My goodness gracious. I just love that song. That is Patti LaBelle. She hasn't been around lately. Patti LaBelle. And do I need to mention this? The greatest singer of all time, anytime, your time, Francis Albert Sinatra. You know, we call this station the Sinatra station for good reason, only because he's laid out songs like nobody else has ever done. That was Patti LaBelle and Frank Sinatra from the famous Duets album here. And we have a famous, famous person on the line. Uncle Scott?
Hey, George Bliss, how are you?
I'm so good now that I hear your voice. This could
Boy,
be...
you're sounding great today. The great golden tones of one George Bliss. How's it going?
Great. This is the famous Uncle Scott Allen, who's on Fridays right here on WJJG. And Scott, you need to be on here a little bit more.
I hope so, sooner or later.
You know, you need to be on here about 12, 15 hours a day.
Hey, George.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you,
Okay.
Sports Authority, are the Bears, do you think there's a possibility they will get one Drew Bledsoe? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, here's what happened. You know, last week, Drew Bledsoe, if you haven't heard, is a free agent next year in the year. What would that be, Scotty? 2003. 3.
Oh, 2. What am I thinking? I'm just got to have to sleep here.
Yeah, 2002. And he has been the second-string quarterback because of an unfortunate injury early this year. And a young kid came up, a kid named Tom Brady, who's super. And all of a sudden, you got 2 superstars on one team. Now, the question has been by Uncle Scott, will he come to the Bears? Here's the problem as I talk to all the experts downtown, all the writers from the Tribune, and sometimes Drew Bledsoe had such an incredible game last week when they upset their team to get to the Super Bowl that now his price has gone way up just because of that in and of itself. So now, do you think Phillips and the McCaskies are going to pay for him? We don't know. There's doubt now that they'll pay for him because he will be priced out of line, and they're like, we'll develop Jim Miller and all this. So I'm feeling a little bit non-optimistic at this point, Scott.
Don't you think he would help with the possibility? Of course, you know, Marcus Robinson coming back, having one deep threat. I mean, he looked awfully good, Georgie.
Well, we need him. I mean, we need Drew Bledsoe. I've been a big fan of his from the beginning. I mean, I would say categorically that if we bring Drew in, and the classic that you always have to say, the disclaimer, if he stays healthy, which apparently he hasn't played in 120-some games, he must be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, you know,
he'll be fine.
Yeah, you know what people don't realize, George? He'll be 30 next season. He's got 7 or 8 good years
left.
left.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even know that myself. See, not only that Scott Allen would know that. No, we need him. We need him real bad. They need to make that deal categorically right now, and I guess they can literally be released just a few days after the Super Bowl on the the lawyers and the agents and everybody talking. You know what? Loyola lost again last night.
I know, I heard that.
Jesus.
That was a tough one last night.
Cleveland State 81. That's our guy from Cleveland, that good friend, Raleigh Massimino's team.
Right.
Cleveland State 81, Loyola 60. Detroit, Scott 74, UIC 67, so that's kind of a minor upset. Indiana, Purdue, Indianapolis 92, Chicago State 59. Lewis University from beautiful Lockport, Illinois. We got a lot of listeners in Lockport.
Sure.
74. Let's see, Lockport 74, Indianapolis 69. Morton 91, that'd be Morton Junior College, Lake County 84. Northern Kentucky, they drove up here from Northern Kentucky in the snow.
Wow.
90, SIU Edwardsville. Oh, sorry, 55, so they were down in Carbondale. Tennessee Tech 97, Eastern Illinois 92. Eastern Illinois is in what town, Scott?
What's that?
What town is Eastern Illinois in?
Charleston, Illinois.
Got it.
Home of the cornfield. Hey, George, also...
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm just looking through the scores. There's a million of them last night.
Yeah. What's your thoughts also? I know you're a big shaker downtown. What's your thoughts on the Bears renovation? Are you happy with that? Now, what's the George Bliss thoughts on the Bears fans having to travel down to Champaign, Illinois?
Well, let me go off to the side for just a second. You know, you're not going to believe this one, Scott, but I am absolutely for the Friends of the Park. I don't think they should build it there. I think they're going to ruin the lakefront. I think that the tidy bulk concept rising above the Grecian pillars is going to make it very ugly. I actually am not an environmentalist. I never have been, but in this instance, they've got to do a beautiful job, and they're rushing it. And the Friends of the Park, these folks have great ideas, and they know that the Bears have the upper hand, and they're already bulldozing down everything.
Sure.
So I say, the hell with Champaign. They should have never gone there. They should have stuck up at Northwestern, but there was a liquor problem there, because it is different rules up in that area. Or they could have gone to Notre Dame, and I don't even know why they didn't go there. I'm sure there's a technical reason.
What do you think about if they would have built out in? I brought that up on my show a few weeks ago. What do you think if they would have built up in, say, Schaumburg, Arlington Heights area?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt they would have lost one fan. Years ago, Mr. Reinsdorf, who's a friend of our station here, did a very, very expensive survey, and right in the WJJG transmitter shadow, right at Route 53 there, and around Lake Street was a big field that they had actually purchased, and they wanted to build it that would technically be Addison, Illinois.
Wasn't that where the old Ventureland was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally right there. And that would have been a great location for the Bears, quite frankly, instead of the White Sox, is my point.
Yeah.
And then Arlington Racetrack has just been sitting dormant up there for so long. It's such a beautiful freeway, so clean, so close to good restaurants. Schaumburg, technically, Arlington Heights. So, yeah, I'm not against suburban teams because it's done all over the country. All the Michigan teams until this year were way out in Auburn Hills and all these suburbs I can't even mention, like 30, 40 miles out of downtown Detroit. Now they're bringing everything back downtown. But, yeah, I mean, Mayor Daley's not going to allow that. I mean, the minute that the Bears get an idea to move, they won't be called the Chicago Bears anymore, and he legally could do that. So that's why they're staying in downtown. They know that their market is solid down there. So I am against the stadium where it is, and I just think it's ugly as hell. I mean, I think they have some renovation on top of renovations now. They've got to make that thing beautiful because you're going to ruin the lakefront, and it's going to ruin the museum campus and all those classic edifices of beauty. They're going to hurt those things by this crazy design that looks no more than a flying saucer, which I don't like myself.
One thing about playing in Champaign, it'll give the people in Central Illinois, I guess Southern Illinois, a chance to see the Bears, but that's got to be a hassle. I mean, I'm sure you know a lot of people are season ticket holders. What's the word on the streets about that? Are they happy with that, or?
Well, I don't have the paper in front of me, but they are going to, take a little rest. I mean, if you won't lose your season tickets, but if you don't want to go to Champaign or pay for them, you don't have to. You'll be kind of kept on a standby list. So there will be next year when they go 3 and 4. Okay, the first 7 games, there will be. I'm going to say. I'll predict right now we have it on tape at least 30,000 empty seats next year.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You and I will go down there with Dane, Neal, and all our friends from all the various radio stations. And there'll be many, many good seats down in Champaign. You want to drive 137 miles, 147 miles on a Sunday morning?
The
I don't think so.
To give you a ticket after the game? Huh?
Sure.
One last thought, George, if you got a quick minute. Cubs this year, how are they going to do? Pitching looks a little weak. Do you agree?
Yeah, they. When's the convention coming up? Was that last week?
I think
yeah, it was last week. Yeah,
2 weeks ago. Sox Fest is this weekend.
Yeah, Sox Fest. Oh yes, if you want Sox Fest tickets, you make sure you call our friends at the Sox at 312-674-1000. 674-1000. You can either talk to Michael Mazza or Michael Spadal or just anybody at the switchboard. Get some Sox Fest tickets. Unfortunately, I'm going out to Los Angeles on business tonight. I'm flying my corporate Learjet out there. Just kidding. I wish I had one.
But what do you think of that?
Joe might have one, but I don't have one.
So what do you think of the Cubs this year?
No chance. No chance whatsoever. They're getting worse. Now, the kid they're bringing in for shortstop,
Gonzalez.
That's a pretty good move there.
Yeah.
That should work out pretty good. It really should.
But they lost. Who did they lose? Van Poppel?
Todd Van Poppel, and of course the shortstop Ricky last year. So
yes,
I don't see what they did there, quite honestly.
Yeah, you need another arm in the bullpen.
We do.
Well, George, great job. You're sounding great out here in the western suburbs. And I hope you're listening to my show today, the Scott Allen Show, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock today, the Scott Allen Show. And folks, if you have a pencil or you're in your car now, I'll give you a few seconds while you're pulling over at the tollway, paying the 40 cents that you weren't supposed to pay. The Scott Allen Show today at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time.
George, you're the best.
You got it. The phone number will be 708-493-1530. That's Scott Allen, ladies and gentlemen. 708-493-1530. Call Scott Allen. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. He is the greatest. Uncle Scott, and he tells you lots of trivia questions, and he's just a lot of fun to listen to. We'll be back right after these commercials from Joe Gentile, Correctional Plymouth in Barrington.
Hello again, everybody. This is Harry Carey, and if I could still drive, and thank God I can't, I'd be going out to Joe Gentile, Chrysler Plymouth, to pick up a 300M. Get yourself out to 630 West Northwest Highway in Barrington to Joe Gentile, the Baron of Barrington.
In its advertising, Loyola Medical Center says that it also treats the human spirit. This applies equally to the Lakeside campuses. It's in undergraduate and graduate studies, we educate the human spirit. We explore the human spirit, and we prepare young people to treat the human spirit. We are absolutely talking about the great Loyola University. In short, Loyola University Chicago treats, educates, and explores the human spirit, and we also prepare students to do the same for others. Loyola does this with tender, loving care, technology, learning, and compassion. Technology, learning, and compassion are the ways in which we educate and explore the human spirit. On the undergraduate level at Loyola, technology plays a vital role. The four most popular subjects for students are biology, psychology, computer science, and chemistry. Loyola has an outstanding science program, and many students come to Loyola to become well-trained in science and technology so as to secure a good position in professional schools or in the business sector. Learning includes the humanities, subjects including literature, history, philosophy, theology, sociology, languages, and political science. Jesuits have been teaching the humanities for over 450 years, and Loyola is well known for its expertise in this area. Compassion is the ability to enter the suffering of another person, sympathizes with that person, and takes appropriate action to relieve the suffering. Jesuit education wants students to be able to be compassionate with people around the world. Students are taught to value their religious faith and to rely on it, on observing, entering into, and alleviating the suffering of others, for working for justice. Prayer helps students to be compassionate to all people. College is a big decision, but Loyola University of Chicago makes it an easy choice. Contact us today to visit our campuses or to get an application. Call 1-800-7-LOYOLA. That's 1-800-7-LOYOLA.
WJJG, Elmhurst, Chicago.
Now let's go right to Corey with traffic. Corey, what's doing out there?
Oh, it's doing good, actually.
Is the snow screwing everything up?
No, I mean, it's quite a difference. It's slippery. We got to be careful.
Okay.
But, you know, it ain't yesterday, that's for sure.
You got it.
We're making it okay. Traffic's being brought to you by your Culligan man. You ever wonder what's in your water? Well, how about you get a water analysis on the house for your participating Culligan man, then rent for $3 a month for 3 months. Just call, hey, Culligan man. East-West Tollway, I-88, moving pretty decent for us. Both east and westbound. Got a little slow spot east from Naperville to Route 53. Pretty standard for us. Northbound, north-south, meanwhile, slows around Roosevelt. No other problems to you up around Thorndale. Southbound's moving pretty good. Eastbound, Northwest Tollway, a little tight out around 53. It actually looks pretty good the rest of the way over into the Kennedy Expressway, the Tri-State northbound. That's on the brakes from the O'Hare Oasis on up to past O'Hare because of the slick roads and some scattered snow flurries and such. Now, when you make that transition onto the expressways, in onto Kennedy from O'Hare, 35 minutes, 30 back out. Those delays mostly on the west end. Once you get down closer into downtown, you'll be moving pretty good. Inbound Ike close to 50 from the north-south, a little over a half hour in from Manheim for you folks coming off the east-west tollway. Getting back out, though, 25 to Manheim, 40 to the north-south tollway. And that's Stevenson. That's a good way if you want to avoid big problems on the Ike. Stevenson from the Tri-State, only 35 minutes and nice and clear all the way out. Forecast for today, a little flurry here and there. That'll end, but we could maybe see another inch on the ground before everything's said and done. Windy and colder today, highs only in the low 30s. Clear skies, very cold overnight, getting down to the low teens. And then tomorrow, partly cloudy, windy, highs again in the low 30s. Right now, we've got 26 degrees at O'Hare, 30 at Midway, 31 along the lakefront. That wind chill at O'Hare, making it feel like 12 degrees. I'm Corey Morris with Shadow Traffic and Weather on AM 1530, Chicago's hometown station.
WJJG Elmhurst.
Wonderful recreational as well as educational center. Your breath of fresh air, your source of inspiration and information with regard to your radio station. But your heart is as big as you are, and there's a place in heaven for you, sir. I just want to commend, applaud, and thank you for not only giving of your finances, but your time, your efforts, and your energies to help make a difference in the lives of people. And Loyola should be grateful to have a friend such as you, and we in this great city and state of ours are blessed by having you as a friend.
Well, you are my dear friend.
Mornings on AM 1530 WJJG.
Having people talk to the radio by telephone is an exciting idea.
AM 1530.
The number is area code 708-493-1530.
WJJG.
While we're waiting for our next caller, we'd like to remind you folks calling in to, well, keep your questions within the boundaries of good taste.
Hey, Senator Urban. A little bird by the name of Daly said that you went to Georgetown.
That's true.
Oh, well, then you're a Jesuit guy.
That's right. In fact, Georgetown, I went undergrad and law school. So, and St. Louis for a year, so I had 7 years at Jesuit.
Oh, my God. Well, then we are blood brothers, my dear. You better come out and visit me at the Joe Gentile Center at Loyola.
I've got to do that.
I am so tickled to hear that news, Richard. You have no idea.
Joe Gentile, mornings on AM 1530 WJJG.
You've always been a big contributor over the years to this.
Well, what we're going to do, Patty, is we're going to pledge $1,000 from Joe Gentile Chrysler Plymouth and from WJJG Radio. And I think that's very important. And a lot of these people who can hear my voice, who are friends of ours for many years, I hope that they do likewise.
$1,000. Joe, you just bought $3,000 worth of food with that $1,000 contribution.
WJJG. Jimmy Pearsall, I am so tickled that you're on the radio with us, and I'm going to ask you a question or two. You know anything about this?
You gonna let me talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just settle back for a minute, okay?
All right, sweetheart.
Never mind all that bull crap.
Joe Gentile, mornings on AM 1530 WJJG.
We're back in the studios here with Jimmy Pearsall, Joe Gentile, to the miracle of tape and CD duplication. This is WJJG, AM 1530, your new #1 station. We're the Little Giant here in Chicago. We are Chicago's hometown station, and our phone number is 708-493-1530. 708-493-1530. Give me a call. We'll talk about the Super Bowl. We'll talk about the news. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. Don't forget today at 2 o'clock, Scott Allen, Uncle Scott will be on. I know Dr. Jerry will be on today, I believe, at noon. Dr. Jerry, tremendous medical psychic show. And I haven't talked to Jerry lately, but I listen to him as often as I can because I'm always traveling during the day. But he does a wonderful job. Make sure you call him at noon today at 708-493-1530. We're going to go to a song here, and we'll be right back after this. AM 1530, your hometown station. Well, I don't know. I get goosebumps when I hear Frank, but when I hear him with Neil Diamond, What is America to me, it's got to mean something to you. You're listening to AM 1530 WJJG. We're at 708-493-1530. Phil Ferrari.
Good morning.
How you doing?
It's tough. I moved just recently, moved out to Algonquin, and of course, it's a pretty good drive. And of course, with the weather this morning, a lot of slippery roads, a lot of accidents. So, remind all your listeners that the roads are tough out there this morning.
I know. I was asking Corey from Shadow Traffic. He says, the snow's not so bad today. It's still pretty bad in the suburbs, right?
That's right.
They don't knock it down as fast.
We got a lot of things going. I know our listeners know who I am, what I do. I'm president of the World Bocce Association. I'll tell you, things are happening all over the country. This year, for the first time in 109 years, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but our Mount Carmel, we call it the Melrose Feast. We're going to have a huge bocce tournament right in Melrose Park.
And when will that be, Phil?
It's going to be in July.
Oh,
in July. It's the first time in 109 years that they ever had one. So we convinced them, and we're going to do a big one there. We should have over 100 teams there participating, and there's a purse of $5,000.
Wait.
So it's going to be big.
Let me make sure I understand this.
Go ahead.
They haven't played bocce at the Melrose Park Feast in 100 years?
That's correct.
You got to be
never had a tournament.
An official. I see.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, they played it out, around and about on a recreational level, but never a sanctioned tournament of any magnitude.
And they're going to have about 100 teams, you say?
At least.
And these teams are going to be coming from which locations?
All over the country.
Anything from out of the country?
Oh, well, maybe Canada.
Aha.
Canada would
Fabulous.
be Canada. And of course, then we're going to be out in Trenton, New Jersey. We do a tournament.
Yeah. What, you want me to pretend like I don't work here and hey everybody, take out a show, broker a show, yeah, I'm gonna broker a show too, woohoo! I'm not doing it, Matt.
That's right, Kyle.
I'm not doing it.
Call now 1-708-493-1530 so we can get your radio career on the air.
You, sir, are an idiot.
This is Joe Gentile, and I must tell you that we have every many spots available for you to advertise your business. If you advertise on the great WJJG, I will, in fact, double your business. We'll be glad to have a commercial done for you. If you want Joe Gentile himself to do your commercials, I'll be glad to do that also. But if you want to double your business, if you want to increase your business, if you want people to know what business you are in, then you call the great WJJG 1530 at 1-708-493-1530, and I will be glad to get back to you, and we can talk about making your business better.
And we're back here at the studios of WJJG, Chicago's hometown station. George Bliss in with you from right now all the way till 8 o'clock. Phone number for requests is 708-493-1530, 708-493-1530. This is going to go out to my good friend Kathy in Downers Grove. We play Sinatra all the time. It's not easy being green. Give us a call. Enjoy your night, everybody.
Well, we're on the field right now for Joe Gentile Day at the ballpark. It's an exciting moment here as Joe's going to throw out the first ball. He's got it in his hand right now. And Joe's been warming up at the Village Gentile for this moment. We're hopefully be able to fire in about a 95-mile-an-hour fastball on the field.
I'll probably decide to roll it, but George Bliss, I'm tickled to death that you came to say hello to us today. This is the 20th Joe Gentile Day for St. Ignatius at Wrigley Field. 20 solid years. It's lucky I can still walk.
And 50-plus years in the auto business, Joe, and you're still doing
54
great things
years.
for our kids from St. Ignatius. They're all up in Section 215, Joe, and we're going to throw out the ball here in a few minutes.
Yeah, but you know, George, I thank you very much for thinking about doing a little taping like this. Like you always do, you took care of us. I had a nice visit with Ron Santo. He was having a little bite to eat, and I said, Ronnie, forget about baseball. Forget about everything. The way you have handled diversity proves that you are a great guy, and you are a credit to people that have problems, and they respect that. And he put his arms around me. We started to cry together.
Well, for our fans that don't know, Ron has lost in the last couple of years to diabetes 2 legs, Joe, and you're so right about that. That was correct about Ron. He's a great man, isn't he?
But I'm saying to you, he was so tickled that I would say that to him. I didn't want an autograph. I wanted to congratulate him.
I want your autograph. What are you talking about?
Not really, but I'm just saying, George, thank you very much. God love you. Choosing a college, it's probably the first big decision you'll be making. You know, this is an important choice because you want the best kind of undergraduate education. But that's not all. You want to be sure that you fit in with the other students, team with professors who care about you, and enjoy the fun of campus life. You'll find it all at the great Loyola University of Chicago. Why not see it yourself? Call us today to arrange a visit to the Lakeshore campus on the Chicago North Side or our dynamic Water Tower campus right off North Michigan Avenue. At Loyola, education is more than just the learning process. They help you to do that, of course, but at Chicago's Jesuit University, they also help you get smarter about who you are and what you do best. At Loyola, you'll get one-on-one connections with your professors, learning with them on campus, in the lab, or at the computer. Plenty of your learning will also happen outside the classroom and all around the city of Chicago, like doing research at the Field Museum or taking advantage of thousands of internship opportunities. College is a big decision, but Loyola University makes it an easy choice. Contact us today to visit the campus or to get an application. Call 1-800-7-LOYOLA. That's 1-800-7-LOYOLA.
And we're back here at the WJJG Chicago hometown studios. That was Joe Gentile the other day, live with Tiberi out on the field on May 20th. God bless you, Joe, and have a nice vacation, Carol and Joe. They're on their way to Florida for just a couple days. Get a little sun. I know Joe's been feeling a little bit under the weather, but maybe Joe was at bad food that they served at Wrigley Field. I've been telling you, Joe, that Comiskey, well, they don't even call it Comiskey anymore. It's called U.S. Cellular Field. They have great gourmet food there. In Wrigley Field, it's anybody's guess what food you get there. But great interview there with Joe Gentile throwing out the first pitch for the 20th year for the kids at St. Ignatius High School. We tell everybody here every week why we sit in, what an honor it is, and so much fun we have. And I talked to lots of the other people at other big stations, and they really love what we do here because we play Sinatra here almost 85-90% of the time. We believe in Sinatra. The anniversary of his death, of course, was, I believe, last week. And I play Sinatra songs, and then I play other great people as well. But when I ask the people who's better, Sinatra or, say, like Lionel Richie, it always comes down to Frank Sinatra. So give us a call. We'll take your request, and we'll compete with you all you want. But we think Frank's the greatest guy ever. George Bliss sitting in here tonight. We're having a lot of fun. It's a beautiful night. We still have a little rain all over the darn place, so look out for those flash floods in the WJJG listening area, and also tune your TV station to make sure that we don't get a big thunder blaster tonight. Right now, the beautiful weather. It is 81 degrees here at the WJJG studios. We got a request for the greatest song ever.
Hi, it's Amy out in Mrs. Illinois, 2003. You're listening to WJJG AM 1530. It's George Bliss.
Hi, this is Andrew Firestone, and when I'm in Chicago, I listen to George Bliss on WJJG, Chicago's hometown station.
You better believe it. My good friend Andrew Firestone, the famous wealthy kid from San Francisco, was in about a month ago. We hung around together with him, and I couldn't keep up with him. He's too good looking, and he has too much money, but he was nice enough to do a little commercial for Joe here at WJJG. Folks, every time I play My Way, I get several phone calls, and yeah, it is probably the greatest song ever written. Of course, it was written by Paul Anka on behalf of the chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra, and every time you hear it, it is pretty moving. Well, we're here at 6:18 tonight, a beautiful Sunday night in Chicago. Sox won big today. Big. That would mean that the Sox are tied again now for first place with the Minnesota Twins, and it sounds like Ozzie Guillen is doing a hell of a job out there. So God bless you, White Sox, and we love your food out there. And the Cubs are starting up a little bit later with their nemesis, the St. Louis Cardinals. Give us a call at 708-493-1530. We'll put you on the air. We'll talk about music, what you're doing tonight. If you're barbecuing, I know all the big boys from the Wrecking Crew are out there on the west side of Chicago tonight having a big barbecue. And I know that there's a lovely 20-year-old girl that's her birthday is today. We want to say hi to Mr. Savillione's lovely daughter, You know what? I figured her name. Al, you got to call me, but I'll call you later and figure it out anyway. You know what? I was the son of a musician, and my uncle played way back in the 50s, and he felt when he played, he was lucky enough to touch rings with the great Nat King Cole, who, of course, is from Waukegan, Illinois. Well, his daughter is one of my favorite, Natalie Cole. She's a top 5 female singers, I believe, in America today. She's incredible. She gets in trouble once in a while, but I found a beautiful, beautiful cut of hers where they duplicate the effort here, and I think you're going to like this cut. This is Natalie Cole. It's inseparable. Give us a call, 708-493-1530 on Chicago's hometown station.
Oh, come on now. He's not just a Baron of Barrington. He's Mickey Mantle in pinstripes. He's Red Grange and shoulder pads. He is ultimately the consummate winner, the consummate competitor. Who am I talking about? How you doing, everybody? I'm Chet Kopic. I'm talking about my good friend Joe Gentile. Joe, after all these years, you're stepping out with Chrysler Plymouth. I can't believe it. What are you going to do besides drive Corolla crazy and continue to take this marvelous radio station you put together and increase its growth? Hey, from a guy who has been your friend now for, my gosh, 21, 22, 23 years, and I will never forget the time, Joe, that I lost my car on the Kennedy Expressway in that flood back in the mid-'80s. I called you up, and the Baron said, Kopic, I'm going to have a car for you. Just get yourself out here, and you're taken care of. You know what? I love you. I love Corolla. I want to wish you all the success in the world. I know your radio station is going to continue to grow. You are the Baron of Barrington. Dallas Green and Chet Kopic lay claim. We lay claim. Just as Vince McMahon took a guy named Terry Bollea and named him Hulk Hogan. As far as I'm concerned, Kopic and Dallas Green took Joe Gentile, formerly of Stella Buick, and made him the Baron of Barrington. Baron, what can I say, brother? You are number one. Peace, love, rock and roll. Enjoy your semi-retirement, because semi is as good as it's going to be. You are far too wired, far too hyperkinetic to ever sit around and clip coupons. Knock 'em dead, my good friend. This is Chet Kopic, over and out.
And back in the Elmhurst studios of WJJG. Hi, Chet. Chet's been checking in with me lately. He's funny. Chet and Joe, Chet Kopic, of course, famous from the Sporting News Network. Chet and Joe go back about 600 years, Joe. I don't want to make you too old, but that's absolutely true. Chet was down on his luck one time years ago. His car was flooded, like I almost got flooded last night. I was down on the south side driving. Rain all over the darn place in Homewood, Illinois. And, of course, Chet's car got flooded out on the Kennedy, and Joe just took care of him and got him a car. That's Joe Gentile, ladies and gentlemen. And, no, he's not going to retire. He's just going to take a few vacations here and there and drive us all out here at the station, but we love him anyway. He's on his way to Florida for a few days. And we're going to be sitting in for the folks here on weekends. Yours truly, George Bliss, WJJG, Chicago's hometown station. We're at 708-493-1530, 708-493-1530. You remember that famous song, Something, that the Beatles did? Great group, right? The Beatles, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, Ringo Starr, George Harrison. Great, great group, sold billions of dollars of records. Well, Frank took a song called Something that they wrote and made it even better. Here it is right now for you on Chicago's hometown station. Okay, Chicago's hometown station, none other than WJJG. 708-493-1530. Karen Carpenter and her brother, Richard Carpenter, sang that a long time ago. She could sing like a bird, couldn't she? There's a toss-up between Karen Carpenter, for me, and Natalie Cole. They're very similar, both sing like a bird, and obviously both beautiful women. Unfortunately, Karen's no longer with us on this earth, so she had some problems with her medical background and left this earth way too early. You're listening live with George Bliss on a beautiful, I mean, it is a beautiful Sunday night here at the studios in Elmhurst, Illinois. 708-493-1530, about 6:35, and I know a lot of you are watching the Cub game, so you can turn the volume down in the background or listen to me here on Chicago's hometown station. When they did the Duets album, we talk about this a lot here at JJG. Joe Gentile, of course, has incredible personal pictures of Frank Sinatra here at his office at the studios in Elmhurst. And, boy, I'll tell you, one of these days I got to get copies of these pictures. They're worth a lot of money, Joe, I'll tell you. But when they picked the Duets partners for Mr. Sinatra, when he did Duets 1 and Duets 2, one of the partners that he picked was the inimitable, is that a word, inimitable, Lena Horne, and she is incredible. and she does Embraceable with the great Sinatra. I think you're going to like this. Sit back, enjoy it. Turn the TV down. Lena Horne and Frank Sinatra. Oh, that's WJJG's own John Troncalli. Boy, he does a great job on that, doesn't he? Time to Say Goodbye. John Troncalli on the staff here at WJJG. And John, the other day, was at NBC in a musical contest, and I think he did pretty good. And that brings me to this whole big subject of American Idol, which is literally taking the world by storm. I think the folks at Fox, and of course Simon Cowell, again, I'm the son of a musician, and I just love music. It's such a genius of what they've done on Fox station. I'm not in agreement with all the talent, but, the public votes, and this girl, LaToya London, was absolutely a stone beautiful performer, and they have 2 girls left now, and that'll all be taking place Tuesday night, so best of luck to the final 2 at American Idol. We're here at 708-493-1530, 708-493-1530. I know my good friend Carol is listening in beautiful Naperville. We're going to get to Carol after this next song, but Uncle Scott Allen called in. They're having a big barbecue. He's got the stereo on full blast, I understand, and all his friends are listening out there. Uncle Scott, you're the best, and don't forget, Uncle Scott's on every Friday, right here on WJJG, Chicago's hometown station. And Uncle Scott, you requested, and your friends, and God bless you all, by the way, and don't eat too much food, and certainly don't drink too much. And whatever you're doing out there, folks, today, if you're driving, you're at a barbecue, don't drink and drive. It's just a dumb thing to do. Don't do it. We don't want anybody to get arrested for anything bad, but just be careful out there and have a great time on this beautiful Sunday. And hopefully the rain's holding off here now. But Uncle Scott, you requested some Motown? Motown, you say? Motown, you say?
WJJG, Elmhurst, Oakbrook, Chicago.
Well, I want to know how you doing.
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? Atta boy, you're in the club now.
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, what kind of Italian are you?
I don't know.
It's one word, 4 syllables. How you doing?
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 He said, how you doing?
How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing? All right.
How you doing?
How you doing? So long, everybody.
Well, where do we put that montage together?
Joe Gentile, mornings on AM 1530 WJJG.
I'm telling you, that's one of the best radio bits that we've done at this station. Monday through Friday, Joe Gentile, every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. He'll be on vacation for a few days, so we're going to have some incredible guests sitting in. But, folks, mark it on your calendar. Set your clock radio, set the dial in your car, and all that good digital stuff they got out now. Put it on 1530, okay, because we have extended hours in the summer, and you'll never hear a show more funny than Joe Gentile's show, more intelligent, more educated, and, the opinions come flying on his show every morning, but for sure, it's all from the heart. George Bliss sitting in here at Chicago's hometown station. We're at 708-493-1530, 708-493-1530. We're having a great time, about 6:52. Beautiful, down to about 75 degrees. I haven't seen weather like this in a while, so we hope it keeps going. If you have any requests or you want to talk on the phone off air, give me a call. I'm here till 8 o'clock at night, and we're going to play one for Carol out in beautiful Naperville, Illinois. And, the only thing I want to play for Carol is Sinatra, okay? I mean, how do you keep the music playing, Carol? While you listen to it, you sit back and enjoy it. Chicago's hometown station, George Bliss. Enjoy. Whew, I love that song, Ribbons in the Sky by Stevie Wonder. We got a lot of requests tonight, man. All kinds of people having fun, having barbecues, and listening to beautiful music. I've got all kinds of songs I'm going to play tonight. You know what? One of my favorite girls is Toni Braxton, and I know Carol Gentile likes Toni Braxton a lot. Right, Carol? I know you do. So let's play Toni Braxton here on Chicago's hometown station, WJJG, George Bliss, 708-493-1530. Enjoy this beautiful evening. Let's play a little Tony Braxton. Chicago's hometown station, WJJG. George Bliss sitting in here till 8 o'clock. Beautiful night here on a Sunday night. Isn't it incredible? Boy, the weather has held off. I want to say hi to my good friend out there, Sherry Zale. And Sherry, you're going to kill me. God bless you. But I can't find From Here to Eternity. We have about 35,000 CDs here. And I'm going to be looking for From Here to Eternity by the great Frank Sinatra. But I'm going to take a guess, okay? I'm going to play you another song by Sinatra, and I hope you like it, Sherry, and best to you and everybody that called in from your family and great fans of the station. Sherry Zale, she's incredible. And I'm going to play a little surprise song for you by Sinatra, and you just got to trust me on this one, okay, Sherry? Okay? Now, call me if you don't like it. 3 coins in a fountain. Now, I asked this question. I'm going to ask it till I have no more air in me. Does anybody sing like this guy? Folks, no one sings like Frank. I mean, sorry, Paul McCartney. You're a great guy. Sorry, Elton John. Sorry, Nat King Cole. And I hate to say it, sorry, Vic Damone and Perry Como. All you guys, you're all running second place to the great Frank Sinatra. That's 3 coins in a fountain. And that was for our good friend who I substituted, Sherry. I apologize if you didn't like that one, but that was for Sherry Zale and our good friends that call into WJJG. We love you, and thanks for listening to us right here on Chicago's hometown station. We are at 708-493-1530, 708-493-1530. If I don't have the record, I'll play something close to it. What the heck? Okay, you like Perry Como. You think he's kind of good. He's okay. I wouldn't call him Frank Sinatra material, but okay, we'll play a little Perry Como for you, one of his favorite songs of all time, right here on Chicago's hometown station.
You want to go out on the town with your girl, right? But you can't go in your car. You want to show this girl that you got style and class? Then you got to get a limo from ABCE Limousines. They got all kinds of limousines. They got the stretch jobs. They even got one of them big SUV limousines. They have 10, 12, and 14 seat cars, and they're available 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? They got all sorts of specials going all the time on the evenings, the bachelor and bachelorette parties, and I'll take you just about anywhere you want to go. Airport transportation, holiday parties, red carpet weddings, anniversaries, dinner engagements, concerts. You can even impress that client you got coming into town. And I'll tell you what, my kids took one of those to the prom, and they loved it. They got one of them mini bars, they'll decorate the car, they even got a driver with a tuxedo on it. You won't believe the service. ABCE Limousine is at 1-800-947-LIMO. It's 1-800-947-5466. Give Richie over there a call. He'll take care of you.
Hey, my name's Bob. Yeah, hi. You know, I used to be frustrated because my business wasn't making any money. I knew if people just knew I was out there, that they would come in and I could rake it in, you know? I spent a lot of time feeling sorry myself and down on myself and wishing someone would be on my side. Then I realized someone is. Joe Gentile over at WJJG AM 1530, I called him up, talked to him personally, and he did an ad for me that more than doubled my business. So now that I have money, I just don't need you people anymore. Later. When are people going to learn that business isn't that hard? All you have to do is call AM 1530 at 708-493-1530. We'll do an ad for you and people will come on in. Call now.
Okay, back in the hometown studios of the Joseph J. Gentile Broadcasting Company, known as WJJG AM 1530, your hometown station. I'm at 708-493-1530. That's 708-493-1530. We got a call from Chris. Thank you, Chris, for calling. We have about 6 visitors tonight in the studio. I'm actually kind of like blushing tonight because a couple people were listening in their car. We're aware of our studios, apparently had passed by in the future, or in the past, or whatever the heck you say, and they stopped in and they wanted to meet me. So 3 lovely people stopped in to say hello and complimented me on my music. Thank you very much. I'm honored, really, for you to stop by. And Chris, we're going to talk later, too, about, we have a debate going. We have one caller that actually called and said, well, Sinatra's good, but he's not the greatest of all time. So, I don't know. She said that she likes Paul Anka. She says she likes Jerry Vale. And these are great singers, don't get me wrong, but they're not in the class of Sinatra. But that's what radio is. It's only my opinion. So, Chris, we're going to play Paul Anka for you, and then I'm going to have a special send out to a friend of mine in Darien, Illinois. At 7:30, we're going to play a song. But, okay, we'll play Paul Anka. He's Sinatra's friend, right? So he must be halfway good. Let's play a good guy here, Paul Anka. Okay, Chicago's hometown station, WJJG. That was Nina Simone. Nina Simone, To Love Somebody. And before that was Roberta Flack, which dedicated to Nina out in Darien, Illinois. And a couple songs ago, we played another Nina Simone. She's one of my favorites, Nina Simone. She passed away about 8 months ago, I think, over in England. And Nina Simone sang a beautiful French song called Ne quitte pas, which means if you go away. So somebody asked me what the hell that meant, and I'm telling you in French it means if you go away on a summer day, blah, blah, blah. But I don't want to get you guys too corny here. On a beautiful Sunday night here at WJJG, Chicago's hometown station. George Bliss sitting in, and God, we got a lot of calls today for Sinatra, which we always do, but tonight we had 2 calls that had a debate going and saying Sinatra's not the greatest singer of all time. One person voted for, they gave a vote to Jerry Vale, Victor Moen, and even Paul Anka. Now, I'm not saying you folks have a bad opinion. I'm just saying maybe you might be slightly misinformed on that. So if you have any questions, we have about 20 more minutes here to play music. I'm going to play one of my favorite singers from Latin America, Luis Miguel. Luis Miguel. You got that name? M-I-G-U-E-L. Luis Miguel. And he sings with the greatest guy, Sinatra. You're going to love this one. Turn this up loud if you're in the garage while you're eating some good barbecue pizza. And send me over some, by the way, over here, okay? At the studios in Elmhurst. And enjoy this song. Sit back and enjoy this lovely evening here. Unforgettable by Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole. And that is a really, really beautiful song. And I love how she did that with him, obviously, after he passed from this earth. I saw her in Las Vegas about 3 years ago, and she shot his photo up on the screen and sang along with him. It was absolutely beautiful. Natalie Cole and her father from Waukegan, Illinois, Nat King Cole, unforgettable. I'll tell you, one of the persons that I really like her a lot, is Madonna. So, don't throw tomatoes at me and talk about this weird Kabbalah stuff that she does. But the girl can really sing. Good Italian-American girl from Detroit. But she does some weird things once in a while, but we love her anyway. She does a great job on this song. I think you're going to enjoy it. Don't Cry for Me, Argentina by Madonna.
Chicago's hometown station.
WJJG Elmhurst.
Well, Joe Gentile is going to give you 10 reasons to use Flood Brothers Recycling and Disposal. Flood Brothers have been in business for 40 years. They're at 17W697 Butterfield Road in Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois. The city number is 773-626-5800. Suburbs call 630-261-0400. Customer service is second to none. Friendly drivers who care about you, the customer. Recycles, reuses, reduces, environmentally friendly. Price friendly, price competitive. We love to save you money. We always honor the privilege to serve you, the customers. Not a big corporation, so you don't become lost in the shuffle. We return your phone calls because we care. Response time is the same day. Commercial, industrial, office, residential, solid waste, recycle, roll-offs, whatever you need, we service. And our name we can offer, which means we will flood you with service. Flood Brothers, you can't beat them.
Okay, WJJG, we're winding down here. We're going to be off the air in about 5 or 6 minutes. George Bliss, Another Day in Paradise, working here at WJJG, Chicago's hometown station. We love you, Joe and Carol, and thanks for letting me sit in here in the summertime with the extended hours. Remember, the Joe Gentile Show is every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on Chicago's hometown station. And give the boys a call anytime you want and have a little fun with them and voice your opinion at 708-493-1530. That's 708-493-1530. We got a call for Pavarotti, and I think he does this song incredibly well. Let's go out with Luciano and Caruso. Good night, everybody. God bless everybody serving for us. overseas to keep us free.
This concludes the broadcast day for WJJG Elmhurst. WJJG broadcast at 1530 kHz from transmitter and towers located in Elmhurst. To contact the offices of WJJG Radio, please call 708-493-1530 during normal business hours. WJJG is owned and operated by Joseph J. Gentile Incorporated. Thank you for listening to your hometown station.
Strike it up. Good morning, everybody. WJJG, AM 1530, Chicago's hometown station. If you are not used to the rock music, it doesn't matter because I'm in today.
Yeah, I don't know if some of our listeners are they're okay right now. They're a little excited.
Good morning, my cousin, George Bliss here. Hello, everybody out in the WJJG radio listening audience. We're here on the dial at the world's greatest radio station, WJJG, AM 1530, and we're at 708-493-1530. Yes, I am George Bliss. Yes, and Matt, you're with me, buddy.
I would be Matt.
Should we go with a different name today?
No, I'm going to stick with Matt.
All right, and 708-493-1530. We're going to have an incredible show today. Excellent. Because I'm here because I hang in once in a while, and Joe and Carol are in Florida having a great time. And we're going to have Susana Homan on from the Sun-Times later.
Okay, cool.
And we're going to talk about the final roster cuts today live with Harry Carey in studio later.
He shall be here.
But, you know, we got to strike it up here because the baseball season is starting.
Yeah, spring training's underway. Or not spring training.
It's almost over. Hope Springs Eternal. Just listen to this. Your cousin and Matt in today. WJJG 702 and 30 seconds here in beautiful Chicago. 50 degrees today, man.
That's nice. Today, actually, George, I'd like to be called Armand.
We'll go with Armand. Let me write it down. Armand DeFusco or just Armand?
Armand DeFusco is
Armand DeFusco. You know, if you want to talk to Armand or George Bliss or later Harry Carey and later on after that Susana Homan, you could do that by calling 708-493-1530. But we try to stay serious, though, once in a while and have some fun.
It's a serious time in our country right now.
It is. And what's going to happen if anybody's been in a cave, which I can't imagine, but sometimes radio guys say that we have an incredibly serious war on our hands right now in Baghdad, 1,000 or 2,000 miles away. Maybe 4,000 miles away. I'm not quite sure.
It's a large number.
Yeah, over the ocean. And today, our coalition forces, which is primarily England, our friends, Tony Blair, us, of course, a few other minor people here and there, are going to attack the heck out of Baghdad. And there's going to be some sad times for families. I was brokenhearted the other night when I saw those 6 or 7 POWs, Matt, and one that particularly disturbed me. And I'm pretty peaceful guys. Everybody knows around here. They call me George. You're pretty calm. You don't get crazy. I was particularly upset by Shoshana Johnson, a female black American lady soldier from Texas that is a cook. Now, what they want with a cook,
she's not holding
I am not quite sure. So if something negative happens there and this poor lady is hurt, I'm guaranteeing you that the common folk, you and I and all our listeners here at WJJG, will not take it lightly. So I'm just telling you, there's so many bad things going on right now with POWs that if they have half a brain in their head, they won't hurt these people.
Well, it's really only going to get worse. I mean, we are now like 50 miles outside of Baghdad. I don't know what time I heard that at. 6 o'clock or something.
Correct, right.
And now we are within firing distance of what seems to be a chemical weapon, or so they think may happen, which means we may lose more people. I don't know. It's kind of a very scary situation. We've already lost, we've friendly fire. We were taking out British, which is, not good to our allies and whatnot. But it's scary, George. It really is.
It is. And Joe always talks about it, and we kid Joe once in a while, but 58 years ago, something like that, 60 years ago, Joe was, of course, in the World War II situation in the Pacific. And to this day, as fun as Joe likes to talk and to live life and to love life, when he talks about being in the military, he gets pretty somber. He doesn't laugh. He says it's not a joking matter. He gets angry because he says people don't understand just how serious national interests are amongst each other. People have been fighting for 4,000 years, and now we're in the modern era with technology that could kill us all. Not that I want to bring anybody down today, but it's serious out there. I mean, what's going to happen the next 5 days is very critical.
It's very true. Basically, we got to make a move, and I don't know. You know, it all comes down. Back here, we have support for the troops, and then we have the anti-war protests. Now, the protesters, I don't agree with them stopping traffic in downtown Chicago. That is a little absurd to me. But I'm all for the protests. You know, it's what America's about. You can say what you want. You know, First Amendment, go with it. But stopping traffic is not exactly, you know, the way to go about it. And
well, hey, here I am, George Bliss, age 54, who attended college during the Vietnam War, and it was ugly. I mean, cars were burned, people were shot on the streets. It was tough. There were very unfortunate shootings, I think 1972, 73, sorry about my dates, at Kent State, where some very young kids, 18, 19 National Guardsmen, went out there and saw a bunch of kids literally doing things almost similar to what they were doing. There was not violence per se, and they were shot, you know, on the streets of Ohio. And that created a problem. So the government, especially Mayor Daley, who I think is one of the best mayors of any city at any time, you know, they exercise some very positive restraint out there. They're on Lakeshore Drive. My sister happens to live right there, and her traffic was blocked. But, you know, they were calm. Well, they're peaceful. There were some mini skirmishes, but nobody got shot.
That's what's going to happen.
Nobody got severely,
when you have anti-war and pro-war protests going on across the street from each other.
Democracy in action for sure.
Of course.
Now, yesterday, speaking of democracy, I was over at the State of Illinois building with one of the friends of our station, JBT, Judy Bartopinka. I brought the script, and my good friend Anna Davlantis from Channel 5 News, and another morning anchor who's on right now, Kim Vadas. They were there. We had a Greek-American Independence Day.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, and the Greeks got their independence from Turkey in 1814.
Good,
so similar thing,
It's
yeah.
about their time.
So I wouldn't be out here being Greek and being goofy if it wasn't for that war.
God bless.
Anyway, Judy Bartopinka was wonderful. I want to say hi to her and her staff, Chris Carabas, and there was like about 500 people there, and they had dancing and they had speeches and they gave awards. It was pretty cool.
Good old festive time.
So Armand, and what nationality are you, my friend?
I don't know, Armand. What would that be? Spain?
Armand. It could be anything. It could be Italian. I knew some Italian men, good-looking like you, Armand.
I'm from Europe.
Now you cook. You have you in the ballet school. What do you do? Armand, wait, that's French. We don't want that.
No, we don't want French.
No. By the way, I have my list of French things to boycott.
Yes,
let's
go through them.
Well, I have at the top of Michelin tires.
Michelin tires.
Yeah, Michelin tires, made in France.
Really?
Almost every cosmetic you buy at the major department stores.
Yes.
Evian water, Perrier water.
Let's get rid of it all.
Motel 6 chain, the Airbus A800 airplane. I think it's
Motel 6?
Motel 6 is owned by a French company. Nothing against you local people, but it's not good. So I'm really angry with these guys. Why? Because they put us in danger that we can't use their airspace.
Yeah, that's...
B, what don't they get about this crazy guy killing people? And C, they didn't like us in World War II. So what clue do we need? They don't like us.
Get out of here. We don't even need them.
We don't need them.
French bread and French fries, French toast.
You got it.
French maids.
So I'll tell you what. I'm getting angry now. So if you want to talk about it, 708-493-1530. We'll be right back after this. I'm going to calm it down a little bit with Lionel Richie. I want to relax a little bit. We'll be back with Armand and George Bliss right after this. Chicago's best hometown station, WJJG AM 1530, here with Armand, and just walking in the studio, just out of the Nordstrom's suit sale Thursday, Dane, our station manager and good-looking guy with the Save a Life Foundation, red pen, nice red pen, Neal. Good morning, Dane.
Good morning, George. You've done a fine job riling up the listeners of WJJG. Normally, we ease them into the day with the soothing sounds of Frank Sinatra, kind of like sticking your big toe in a comfortable, warm bath, where you have splashed them with the cold water of the "Strike It Up" song and all of your inflammatory.
And how do you know? And how do you know the song "Strike It Up"? You yourself are a rock and roller. It sounds like.
Well, you had said, that's Strike It Up. Yeah, I'm George Bliss.
He actually listened.
Oh, no,
See,
he heard it.
That's a good general manager.
Listened to Ty.
I'm just a figurehead.
What the heck's going on with
Matt
this
is the general manager.
What's going on with the suit? You got a formal dinner dance tonight with friends,
formal dinner dance with
At
friends.
8:30 in the morning.
No, it's not important, and it certainly has nothing
That's
to
fine.
do with the morning show.
Dane, everything in the world has something to do with the morning show if you're sitting on that side of the microphone. And Armand, your boyfriend, sorry.
Whoa.
girlfriend. Armand, you and Dane,
Yes.
critique his suit for me, please. It looks wonderful, does it not?
It's a real nice. It's a very nice.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So, George, what?
Yes.
This is a great opportunity for you to get in here and spin some of your favorite hits, and I know that Dino's coming in a little bit later.
No. Dino cannot make it. Harry Carey is coming in his place.
Ah, yes, that's right. I remember I got that voicemail. So Harry Carey will be here in spirit. So Armand, yourself, and
Harry Carey
and me. No, we're going to channel Harry Carey here, so we'll have him. Yeah, we'll channel him from the netherworld. It's amazing to be able to do that without the assistance of John Edward, the famous channeling psychic guy.
Oh, I see. Yes. Now we're going to talk about the final roster cuts on the Cubs and the Sox. And my trivia question right away: who is the second baseman for the Cubs? Do you know?
No. I'm sure that Harry Carey does, and it's amazing that he's able to stay so in tune with the team, even though he's dead. I think that's dedication. That's dedication to the team and also to the sport that he knows.
Absolutely.
He's like, I may be dead, but I do know what's going on. What was with that pitching change? So that's good.
Golly.
He's great. He has won many, many contests as a broadcaster, and you'll hear him right here live on WJJG, Chicago's hometown station. And in case you forgot, we are going to play a song a little later on. We've already had callers. Here's to the winners, but we'll play it later on in the show
Because they're waiting for it to start the show.
They're waiting for it, but maybe we'll play. But Dane, I know you're a very fun-loving man and love life too, like Armand does. But this whole thing in Baghdad, this is a
this even tempers
mess.
This even
is a
tempers
mess.
the goodwill and festivity of Armand.
It does.
Right, Armand?
Yes,
hey, Matt, you got a bad accent in you. You could
Hello.
My name is Armand.
I am Armand. The musical.
I like
But
it.
tonight, all hell is going to break loose, or tomorrow, or the next 48 hours or so, and you're going to see it live on television. And I'm amazed by the internet telephones, the internet cameras, the live satellite presentations from every cable network in the world. It's
Every nook and
amazing.
cranny. Yeah, when I saw that, I think Hanover Park had their own correspondent out there in Baghdad. They're like, hi, I'm from the village, the public works guy from Hanover Park.
This is Bob.
Live in Baghdad.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I knew this man would make the show funny.
Oh, it's
Hanover. It had to be Hanover Park. Couldn't be Berwyn like Rich Kaz would do, or his old schmoozerino. Dane comes in with Hanover Park.
How do I do
Hanover
it?
Park? Yes, here on WJJG.
How does he do it?
Chicago's
I don't know.
hometown
Hey,
station.
Armand and
Yes.
and George.
Yes, sir.
What do you guys think of the expanded media coverage? Obviously, they're continuing to do it. If no one was watching, they would say, well, let's just play reruns of Friends or something.
Right.
So people are paying attention, but is it a good thing? Is it maybe giving people what they want isn't necessarily the right thing to do? And would it take the entire media world to get together and say, all right, we're not going to do it? Because if one station turns it off, the other ones will just say, they won't say, wow, what an example. They'll say, good, one less competitor.
No competition.
My opinion is straight on this. It's always been clear.
Straight up,
if it's happening in the world,
Yeah.
and it's physically happening reality TV, without trying to joke here or make light of this, if it's happening in the world that people are getting killed for the country, that people are mistreating people, it's happening. You're not going to show it, so for the first 2,000 years we didn't show it, so it didn't happen, like racism didn't happen and people that were mean to each other. Of course it's happening. You need to show it because it has a twofold purpose, like General Frank said the other night on CNN. People are seeing it, and they're being more resolved to say, my God, there's atrocities. It could reaffirm our position by seeing these photos.
Yeah, maybe by exposing everybody to it. Not only
exposure is key. That's my answer.
The
in a
public
nutshell.
or the politicals, that they would know. George, roll with it. That they would know more about what war is, what it entails, all the dirty details, so that they would be less inclined to do it again. Maybe,
correct.
Maybe that's just something. And yeah, okay, it's existed in the past, but we never got to see so much of it. And I think maybe that it might make people say this isn't something that we want to get involved in. It's got some romanticism tied to it, war, and everyone thinks, okay, it's big and it's crappy.
It's
and
reality TV.
right?
It's
and
worst.
To the ultimate, yeah. I am absolutely, as Armand said before you stepped in the studio, I am for the right to protest. Absolutely, categorically, it should never change. I'll always be that way. Now, a lot of the protesters that block traffic and whatnot, So be it. Some were arrested, some weren't. But if you block traffic, it's against the law. Whatever the consequences are.
Yeah, protesting isn't illegal, but blocking traffic is.
Yes. Correct. Now, those people, some of them, well, great people. The head Archbishop of the Catholic Church in Chicago, war is wrong. You know, the classic statements that you need to know in life. But when they see these POWs getting beat up and shot, does it change some of their resolve? That's my question. So, again, to get back to the central theme, yes, they should show this because they're going to see what's really happening over there. You know,
Well,
it's not good. That's for sure.
I think the protesters they haven't made that mistake of lashing out at the troops
No,
themselves.
they have not.
I think
They
they're
have not.
basically
That's right.
saying that the administration is bad, or that the government is bad, or that at least the motivations aren't what they should be, but the troops, of course, they support the troops. So that's at least a good thing, because I know with Vietnam, they didn't support the war, and when the physical embodiment of the government when they came back was those troops, you know, they couldn't sit there and, you know, spit on or protest Lyndon Johnson, so they had to just do it with the soldier who had very little, probably a lot even less to do with the fact he was over there than the troops do today. Back then there was a draft, and so people would be like, look, I'd be here protesting with you if I wasn't in the jungle getting shot at.
Right.
Ah, good analogy. No draft now. That's so well stated. Are you sure you're not a political commentator for MSNBC part-time? Because you do lots of things. You wear nice suits, and you actually do have a very logical brain there, and you could do war commentary.
Congratulations.
God willing that there's another, you know, well, let's hope there's not another war, but
yeah, I don't know that
someday you could do it.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd be interested in doing that. The war comment, well, there's a self-preservation aspect to it.
Yes.
But you see some of these guys making decisions. Yes, you want to be a journalist, you want to tell the story, but I think in those circles, to be the ultimate journalist, what they end up wanting to do is put themselves in a situation where they can get that unbelievable story.
Dane, so far I haven't seen anything over the edge. There's one British journalist that was in that war in the southeast part the first night, and I don't think anybody's actually put themselves, you know, they're going to do anything too crazy. No, there was one unfortunate, I'll get you comment in a minute, but there was one unfortunate situation on Filipino TV where I don't think they knowingly did it. They broadcast some of the photos of some of the captives before the American military liaison officer could get to the home of these parents, which was sad. But I think it was a mistake. CNN held back, MSNBC held back. It was a mistake. They're not going to do that again when they capture people and they have photos of them.
Well,
they are going to wait till they're
I don't mean just showing things they shouldn't show, but by trying to be the ultimate journalist, they put themselves in a position to try to get the best story from the best angle. And one of those is where they saw some Iraqi either officers or a convoy going one way. They passed them on the highway going the other way, figuring that they were going to a checkpoint to surrender, that they were going to be heading to that checkpoint to surrender. So they whipped their car around saying, well, we want to get footage of this.
Yes.
And they chased down the Iraqi soldiers and the officers, who then basically shot and killed them all. You know, except for one guy ended up escaping, but they fired on the vehicle. And so that's, I mean, you got to realize, I think here you don't put yourself in those positions. You just don't think that it's going to happen to you, or maybe that they feel that they're invincible or bulletproof, or that they're not a target being members of the media. But what you've got to understand is, in that part of the world, I don't think that any Americans are really trusted. So it's one of those things where I think they put themselves in that position, and when they got killed, they got themselves killed.
They did. You know, I the name escapes me of the lady on Larry King last night that in 1991, she was I believe a pilot, a female officer, and was captured. Now, what happened with her when her aircraft crashed, she broke one leg severely and both arms. The people that captured her took her, of course, into handcuffs right away, and she was in terrible pain.
I'm sure.
And then they transferred her by cargo car or whatever up to Baghdad, and she said, I almost choked when she said it, maybe she was not thinking. She goes, well, the Iraqi surgeon was quite nice to me as he set my, arm back. So they treated me well. 3 seconds before that, they were showing these gruesome pictures of people being treated not so well. So there's all kinds of activity on television with people that were actually captured and said, well, it wasn't great, but they didn't beat the heck out of me. So things are strange. Whoever captures these people, especially this young black woman from Texas, if they harm her, Dane, mark my words, there will be a furor in this country. Something about society still thinks that a man, okay, he can go and harm his way and get his butt kicked or worse, seriously injured. But if a woman is injured, that crosses the line. What are your thoughts on that whole concept of women in the military in these combative roles?
Man, it's like no women in the military.
Well, okay, Armand says no women in the military whatsoever.
I think. No, yeah, but over stateside kind of stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
I guess. Don't put them in harm's way because then we
I'm
find
with you.
ourselves in these positions. I don't know. There's the Geneva Convention that they have said they were going to abide by and that we're going to abide by, that there is a set protocol for when you get a prisoner of war, you're supposed to do this to them, provide them with the food and water and shelter.
Name, rank, and serial number.
And don't torture them, and
Sure.
that's basically it. And it's the kind of it's an in-kind trade-off deal where we promise to do this when we capture your guys because we know we're going to, and you could do the same because you know you're going to have some of our people there. And just say these people they're non-combatants at that point. They no longer are a threat, militarily, and so just hold on to them until we get this whole thing over. That's the way that it's done. Unfortunately, especially when you're with a regime change situation that we are right now, where Saddam Hussein and his troops know that this is basically the last hurrah, that we're not going to stop. So all bets are off. They know that they're not going to say, okay, you win the war, let's reorganize, and then fine, you get whatever your military objectives are. When our military objective is to end him, he doesn't really have any incentive. He's got nothing to lose. And
he's going for death. I mean, that's obvious. He's a martyr, or he wants to be, thinks he is. It's a dangerous situation. It really is, because we're going to spend $75 billion. We're going to spend $75 billion on this, and it's going to not be easy on the budget in the future months and years to come. I'll tell you what, Dan, we're going to take a little break here. We'll be back right after this on Chicago's hometown station, WJJG.
This is Joe Gentile for the 100 South Restaurant in Elmhurst.
Outbound's a touch heavy into northbound Route 53. And Stevenson from the Tri-State, going to be 45 minutes and even an hour 5 heavy all the way back from Route 53 on in towards downtown. Forecast for the rest of the day looks to be fairly decent. Partly cloudy, highs close to 60. Clear skies overnight. We'll get down to about 35 for the low, and then partly cloudy Wednesday. We'll have highs tomorrow in the upper 50s. Currently 44 at O'Hare. It's 46 at Midway. 48 along the lakefront. Traffic brought to you by Fibercon. Tired of thick glasses of Metamucil for regularity? Let's try Fibercon caplets instead. Fibercon's just as effective as Metamucil and refreshingly easier to take. Use only as directed. I'm Corey Morris with Shadow Traffic and Weather on AM 1530.
You just turned mine. I'm on the mic, yo.
Summertime. Now that is a beautiful bumper called Summertime. Here you're at Chicago's hometown station with Roberta Flack, one of my favorite bumperette girls. She sings beautifully. You're here with Dane, Neal, Armand, and yours truly sitting in today for the great Joe Gentile. Yes, my name is George Bliss, and call us at 708-493-1530. Let me give it to you again, 708-493-1530 here on WJJG. And again, the frequency is AM 1530. Dane?
Hey, George.
Did you like that Roberta Flack stuff?
Yeah, I didn't know she got her start doing bumpers, but I guess everybody's got to start someplace. And I mean, think about it. If 30-second bumper's good, boom, that's condensed, that's concentrated.
Absolutely.
The full extended dance version is going to be great as well. One thing that's great when it comes to education is St. Ignatius College Prep, and I know that you're in tune with what goes on. Now, I hear what Joe says. I've never been there myself to take a look at it, but he says it's the most amazing place in the world, and I know that they got a pretty big distinction by being named one of the top 10 high schools, I think, in the country.
Yes, you're putting me in an embarrassing situation, but that's okay. I'm going to blush. I, myself, when I first went there, knew that it was something special, but until I read that Sun-Times one proud Sunday morning 3 weeks ago, roughly, it is, in fact, top 10 in the United States. And now I'm a cornball with media. They had the 10 listed, but they only had a large photo, a 1/3 page photo in the Chicago Sun-Times, a major paper. They only had one photo, and it was St. Ignatius. So,
well, were any of the other schools in the top 10 from the Chicagoland area?
Yes, there's there's Whitney Young Magnet School, and there was quite a few suburban schools, and Parker Academy and Latin School, which came in for number one for expensive, $17,000 a year to go to a high school, a grade school.
Well,
my God.
Well, if you've got that money as a parent, but you're also buying
that's Joe Gentile kind of money.
Is that if you can do well at that school, then it will get you into the college of your choice. I would guess.
Yes. Yeah. But I'll also say one thing, and I hope my wife's not going to get mad at me. My son struggles. I mean, they put pressure on every day. We got a letter from the head gentleman that runs the school. Everybody knows him. Father Paulson is his name.
Right.
He sent a real fancy letter. He's been on this show many times, and it says categorically, parents, mothers and sisters and family, we expect every night without exception. I mean, bold type, 3 hours of study by every student at St. Ignatius. Now, be honest, I went to Proviso East High School right here in Maywood, Illinois, right in the shadow of WJJG Studios. I never studied 3 hours a night in my life. Once or twice in college I did, of course, to get through college, which I just kind of scratched through. Now, I never cheated, but I scratched my way through. I mean, chemistry, I just couldn't get it. You know?
Well, that's one thing that Joe said is it was very difficult, and it was almost like a trial by fire, but it's one of those things that if you get used to that and are able to handle it, the rest of the world and the rest of college and everything will seem easy by comparison. So that's one of those things. That's what Joe had mentioned, that it was tough, but he got through it and it worked out really well. One thing we're excited about is to be able to help out one of the top schools in the country with the Joe Gentile Golf Classic for St. Ignatius College Prep. This year, it is going to be at Silver Lakes Country Club in Orland Park. For many years, it was out at Villa Olivia in Bartlett. So now we've got the ability to have up to 400 golfers, and I think they're selling out fast. It's going to be Monday, July 21st, 2003. New venue, faster play, 2 courses, 36 holes, great dinner. There's going to be a $10,000 hole-in-one chance on each one of those courses, so you'll always have a chance for that. The $200 that it costs, of course, that goes to help out people who would not be able to afford to go to St. Ignatius. Otherwise, golf, lunch, and dinner. You get green fees, shower.
What's that?
Armand? Exactly. Unlimited lunch and beverage on the course, and that's true. I can vouch for that. Motorized cart, coffee rolls, complimentary photo of yourself and Joe, which is good.
I can't wait.
Great prizes. You never know what
Do
you're
we
going to
have
get.
to golf with Joe?
No.
Do we have to sit with him and have
the
coffee?
photo? No, the photo is.
Oh no, I've got a photo with him. Sorry, Joe. I don't want.
Right.
I don't need another
but
one.
for
with
those few people who do not, you can get your photo with, and it's free. Photo with Joe. Well, it's not free. It's part of the $200, but it's not extra.
Sweet.
Great prizes and dinner. The proceeds to benefit the tuition assistance program at St. Ignatius College Prep. The early bird special. Send in your paid foursome by March 31st. You have just a couple days left, and pay only $175 per person in the foursome. Great. Contact a classmate or friend and save by reserving early. Here's the number, 312-432-8406, 312-432-8406. Jeannie Wall will take your reservation. You can also register online at www.ignatiuschicago.com.
Yes.
This would be the part where George talks, but he's not going to. Matt, what do you got?
Well, I got the special raffle. That's about it.
Well, tell me about the raffle.
A 1968 green Mercedes 280 SL. It's in mint condition. My mic's off now, so
Yeah.
there it goes.
Don't mess with those buttons, George.
Why does that do that?
Because when you leave, we still have to do stuff tomorrow and the next day. And the
I
next
was
day.
I was in queue here.
Yeah,
actually,
they
you weren't
don't work in
actually.
queue. But only 700 tickets will be sold, Dane.
Wow.
So
your chances of winning the very old car
Slim to none.
is that the kind of car that you would want? I know it's for a great cause, so there's going to be people out there that says, you know what, I don't even need an extra car, much less that one, but I'm going to do it because it's a great cause for those kids at St.
Armand, what
Ignatius.
is this? The car?
Yeah, it's a Mercedes, mint green.
Oh my God!
Green 280 SL from 1968.
I saw a photo of it at the recent
here.
St. Ignatius get together.
Isn't that nice?
The auction. Look at that!
Yeah,
Oh my goodness!
That's amazing. You know what? I'm feeling the spirit move within me. I think what we're going to do is take a quick and tiny break, and then we're going to be channeling
Did you feel that?
Harry Carey. Yeah, I feel the spring wind as hope
Goosebumps?
springs eternal or whatever. And as baseball is just around the corner, as is our appearance with Harry Carey. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
On a beautiful Tuesday, you're here listening to WJJG. I'm a good AM jock, aren't I, Dane? AM 1530, Chicago's hometown station.
Yes.
Along with Armand.
Armand.
Our general manager, Dane Neal, with a very expensive $400 Armani suit.
$400
Today,
Armani
yours truly, George Bliss. Yeah, and
All right, everybody, let's join
Wait a
hands.
minute now. Hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute. Sitting in front of me. Tears. Good morning, Harry.
I thought we were going to do a little We Are the World there for a minute.
Harry Carey, welcome to AM 1530, my good friend.
How are you, sir?
How was the trip down from heaven?
Wow, today a beautiful day for baseball, a nice clear day. A little rough landing at Meigs as usual, but but it's great to be here, and baseball just around the corner, and boy, oh boy, the weather improving. It seems like we should be playing right now.
And Ivan De Jesus, how does he look this year?
Well, he's got huge thighs. I know that. Besides that, he's probably about 100 years old now, but He looks good.
Really, and Manny Trio at second base.
Wow.
How's he going to do?
Well, his eyesight isn't as good as it used to be when he looked at the baseball when the ball came to him on a grounder. But they're throwing out some names of the past. Maybe we need to talk about the present.
We do. And, of course, it's none other than the great Harry Carey today, right here talking about the Cubs and the Sox. We're going to go through it the next hour or so. And a little bit later, about 8:30, 8:40, we are going to have Susana's Night on the Town. Susana Homan's going to be on her.
Sounds
Dane.
great.
Yeah,
that sounds
but
great.
Harry is the premier guest here.
Yeah, I know he's spending a lot of time paying attention to baseball, and he's up to speed with everything that's going on, even though he's deceased. But I know you like to get out there and have a good time. And who up there are your basic buddies? What's the clique like up in heaven?
Well, listen, there's a lot of course, there's a lot of broadcasters up here now. Jack Brickhouse and I like to have a cold one now and again and talk baseball. Mel Allen, Lou Boudreau just joined us. And now we got Arnie directing the whole thing. So it doesn't get any better than that to have a professionally run group now that we go out. Arnie keeps giving us cues like we're back on the air.
Do you ever get to, chill with God? And is he a Cubs fan?
Well, absolutely. He's the one that put it all down there, so you got to pay your tribute, so to speak. But that's exciting, Cub baseball. We looked down and watched them struggle last year, but now that we're in a new season, it's time to start all over again, and maybe the Cub can do a little better this year.
Well, at the big parties that you're at with all the broadcasters, if God does happen to stop by and make an appearance, is it one of those things where he just stops in, waves a little bit, shakes hands, or is he up there maybe being a DJ? I mean, is he
spinning the record?
Well, I don't think the good Lord's spinning records much anymore, but you never know. He might get up there and drop a couple of riffs for us. He might join a Jimi Hendrix if we get in the mood. There's so many great artists up here.
Exactly.
Hell, I sit down with Elvis now and again, have some ribs, break bread, and knock down a couple cold Budweisers.
Do you find yourself interviewing people that aren't in the sports world that maybe, because you're a naturally curious person, so you're asking Elvis, what was it with the peanut butter and banana? Is it that good?
Well, yeah, you got to be able to make sure you broaden your horizons. If you just asked him, how many women he slept with, how long would we'd be talking all night. You got to break out and do some different things.
Oh, jeez. Well, of course, Harry Carey, longtime broadcaster for the...
Timid, sweet, demure person with only one fault, for high moral ideas. Linda had been brought up with a strong belief in our heritage. She believes that good will triumph over evil, and her thoughts and love of God and country are reflected in her weekly radio program, the Remnant Christian Church on Crusader Radio. The Virginia Bar Association brought up Linda on charges because she voiced her opinion about judicial corruption while exercising her First Amendment right. Linda developed the following and gained the nickname the People's Lawyer because of her devotion to the pursuit of justice for the little guy. She aided in the defense of Congressman James A. Traficant when he was being lynched by the feeble hanging judge Leslie Wells, who should have excused herself from the case on ethical grounds. Her husband had business dealings with witnesses against Congressman Traficant. Linda came to the aid of soccer mom attorney Elizabeth Baumgartner and freed her of contempt charges after the wrath of the Ohio justice system came crushing down on this whistleblower who asked for an investigation to uncover corruption in their judicial system. Linda's profound dedication to uproot corruption has earned her the ire of the Virginia State Bar Association. Her high ideals about liberty and justice have earned her the distinction of being disbarred by a bunch of judicial parasites acting in collusion to silence her First Amendment right and conduct business as usual to perpetuate their corrupt system of greed. The persecution of Linda Kennedy can be viewed at her website, www.wbflegal@aol.com. I urge you to read the WBF Legal website as a learning experience, then act. If attorneys are not truly independent to represent citizens, then we have no republic. We have a well-concealed feudal system instead. Very informative information can be gained from Linda's website, as well as information to file complaints against her feeble-minded judge, so exercise your civic responsibility and feel good about yourself. Judicial reform groups, including Ron Branson's Jail for Judges, and individuals have aligned themselves with Linda's side. Her cause is too important to let freedom slide. Our society is slowly starting to turn around with the aid of the average citizen, the way that our government was originally set up. These average citizens have had their fill of business as usual and are starting to remember that it has no place in a free society. Americans that disdain the politically correct methods of Joseph Goebbels are starting a rebellion and showing a little righteous indignation over these despotic zealots of intimidation. This persecution of Linda Kennedy is outrageous, but the legal reformers are catching on and slowly showing support. Just as our troops are commencing a swift victory over in Iraq, the people at home here will start a sweep of the judicial house and boot out some of these arrogant, sticky-fingered officers of the court who like to violate our rights. We will weed them out and uproot the evil ones, throw them out on their ears, so they will have to suffer the indignity of physical work for a living, a return to a division of the parasitic welfare system where they had come from, taking the politically correct little Nazis with them to learn that their opinions are no longer necessary in a free society. I'm Rick Posada. For a full text of this commentary, it can be found at the Federal Observer at www.federalobserver.com. You've got a story about political corruption at Harwood and Olive Streets. For information, call Terry at 708-206-3422. 708-206-3422. Until Friday, be good, little boys and girls. Don't smoke pot and buy a new Chrysler of Joe Gentile.
Wow, listen, this reminds me of back in the 60s when I was having a couple of pops down in St. Louis.
Not to be confused with the 70s when you were having a couple pops.
In Chicago.
Oh, okay. We're back here on WJJG AM 1530, Chicago's hometown. And that's a great song, Armand. Bring that up a little bit. You know who that is?
Thank you.
That is a Harry Carey in Heaven song as he dances. Listen to this little track right here. Turn it up, buddy.
How you doing, baby?
Who is this, George?
This is a shocker. This is Sharon Page and Harold Melvin, who
Harold Melvin and the Blue Note, right?
St. Louis boy who grew up on the streets with you in St. Louis.
In the rough, tough streets of St. Louis.
Where I had my legs broken for crying out loud.
On a regular basis.
That stunk.
Well, first of all, I want to say about Rick Posada sorry, Rick, you took too long, but that's okay. Next time we'll make sure that you only have a minute as promised. Not too interesting today. But
we're not
Harry,
in the studio.
It's no big deal. But I thought he was only a couple of minutes, and he ended up, almost like we fell asleep here.
We're all the people that look forward to the Angry White Minute. You can hear it every Tuesday a little bit after 8 o'clock on AM 1530.
All right, yeah. Anyway, we're back here on a beautiful day, and Harry, White Sox. Let's switch to the White Sox.
Now you broadcast. Oh, wait a minute. Okay,
Harry,
go ahead.
Many years ago, you were on the radio dial as the White Sox announcer. Way before the Cubs. I mean, you became famous as a Cub announcer, but you were with Ralph Foucher many years ago.
Boy, oh boy, now you're really turning back the clock. That's 30-some years ago.
How did you like that versus broadcasting for the Cubs? Now, in all truth.
Well, we had a lot more fun on the south side because when Jimmy and I were going on, and it was free and easy. We pretty much said whatever we wanted, and even though we got to do that with the Cubs as well, it was a lot more fun with the White Sox because the fans seemed to really enjoy themselves, and it was a good time back in the 70s, and there was some exciting baseball later on in the decade. Early on, it was not so good, but it was also great going to the Cubs, and all the years in Wrigley Field with all the great people on the north side really made it a good time to be in Chicago and announce baseball.
You know who would have been a good announcer with you coming up as a young guy, and he knows football quite well? Sitting to the next, we're going to have it someday. Dino, Harry Carey, and Dane, Green Bay Packer fanatic Neal. And I bet you'll be good together.
Hey, you know what?
I got
a question for you, Harry. I think back then, you've always been a guy who loved the sport, were a talented broadcaster, but also you like to have a good time. And you try to blend the two. Now with the corporate image of broadcasting, with kind of the cookie-cutter broadcasters and reporters, you just don't see people who have the ability to go out there and broadcast a game while they're drunk with their shirt off. Whereas you were able to do that. Do you think that there's some people that may be talented and may be able to be the next great broadcasters, but they say to themselves, if I can't drink and if I've got to keep my clothes on, then this is just not the business for me.
I'm out.
Well, listen, there's a lot of, you're right, you made a good point about the cookie cutter. There's a lot of broadcasters out there that don't get to speak their mind very much, let alone take off all their clothes. And boy, oh boy, did I enjoy that on a hot, sultry day in the Comiskey Park. When I go under that shower in center field, there's nothing like it in between innings and a couple of ice-cold Falstaffs.
As the pendulum swings back and forth and people get...
do I remember the Falstaff.
Oh, my. As they get tired of the cookie-cutter image, do you think that some networks, some rogue networks may say, you know what, this worked then, this may be kind of a fun thing to do it, and you may see maybe a Steve Stone practically naked and half drunk, or
I hope we
awesome.
don't. But well, you might be. That might be our with all the cable television. I'm surprised some local guy hasn't done that just to be different. But there's always a corporate bottom line, and that seems to be controlling all of the broadcasting these days, which is unfortunate because you lose a lot of your creativity when you're not in your boxer shorts.
Dane, right. Dane and Harry, and truth be told, in Miami, Florida, the local affiliates there, the girls are primarily all dressed in the real skimpy South Beach stuff, and it's kind of an experiment. I'm not making this up. NBC, I was talking to some of the people yesterday. In Florida, they're kind of on edge there, and the girls wear beach. My left hand to God, warm. They wear beach attire on set. Now, picture Lisa Guerrero from Fox Sports wearing beach togs on Channel 2.
That sounds good.
Yeah, but it's going to happen. I think you're into something. In 5 to 7 years, you'll see young anchor women and even men in Chicago that will be dressed in very casual clothes, golf outfits. They'll have
just suspenders.
I'm serious. I am absolutely dead serious.
Fireman
it's
helmets.
Going to happen.
We're not going to see Art Norman.
Armand in an Indian headdress.
Will happen.
Construction worker belt.
I mean, that's what I want to see. You know,
well, listen,
the guys just chilling
right onto the village people.
Nothing like being loose and enjoying yourself and being free and expressing yourself when no one can see you.
Right? What's the big deal?
708-493-1530, 708-493-1530 if you want to talk about. Yeah, give us a call.
You've been offended.
Armand, Dane, Harry, Carey, and yours truly sitting in today, George Bliss. I like my name. It's funny. People laugh when they say my name.
I like it too.
It's blissful.
Bliss spelled backwards is slib.
Slib. And what's Dane backwards?
Enad.
He is an Enad, that's for sure.
Wait a minute.
An Enad from Green Bay, from Yab Green. What's Green Bay backwards? He wants to go backwards today.
Green Bay backwards is Meat Packer.
Dane Meat Packer Show.
Hey, Harry, and I know that back when you started in broadcasting, there weren't a lot of sports options. You maybe had, I don't even know if basketball was even something that was even broadcast. You had maybe football, you had baseball, maybe hockey, who knows. But with all the different sports going on now with the X Games, what do you think is the next sport that's going to really break out and become, other than bocce, of course, with Phil Ferrari, part of the
slam ball,
the sports landscape?
Well, I've been really hoping we could come out with, with the badminton league. We could get some of that out there. You know, all this programming these days, you could have just about anything and call it a sport and have people show up. The X Games is a perfect example of that, with all of the crazy things that those people do.
But they take things that are just basically recreational sports like snowboarding or skateboarding or sliding down a street and running into like a bale of hay, or things that you just do on your weekends, and turn it into a sport, an Olympic-style sport. That maybe does open for like yard games, like
jarts.
Like jarts.
Aren't those illegal?
Yes.
Someone lost their
Think
life.
about
So
that.
we're going to be playing jarts with Saddam tonight, my friend. Trust me on this one.
Speaking of which,
yes.
I got a picture here, George, of Saddam. What day was this? Monday's paper.
Yes.
Got a picture of him addressing the press or somebody. I don't know. Where did he get my glasses from? Did you see? Look at that
and
picture.
of course, Harry Carey is referring to the now world-famous picture where several days after the war started, Saddam appeared on his local TV with those Harry Carey-type glasses, and God forbid if somebody FedExed them to him, because they are your glasses.
He stole them for crying out loud.
Well, I think having the Superstation, you're going to see a lot of people, maybe world leaders from around the globe, emulating because the signal goes so far.
Yeah,
Harry,
absolutely,
as you go
Dave.
around and travel and drink, not now, of course, in the past, and how many world leaders have come up to you and says, you know what, we love what you do, and then and which ones were they, and which ones made an impact on you?
Well, it was mainly presidents. I can remember back in '87 when I had when Ronald Reagan was on the air with me, and President Clinton's been involved, and George Bush.
Thank you. Oh,
excuse
Bush.
me.
George Bliss. Sorry,
another
wrong guy.
head of state.
Yes.
President
But
George Bliss.
there's been a lot of good guys.
Hey, George Bliss America.
Boy, oh boy, we're really rolling this morning with George.
We're only
Bliss.
rolling because you're here.
He'll be here all week.
And a little bit of Dane and a lot of Armand.
We also have
but not
a
me
crack team
today.
of comedic writers that read the show for us.
George handed out all sorts of sheets for us to read off of.
He keeps pointing to us. That's our cue.
After you work at a big station like I've been lucky enough to be delved into, everything is like on script. And I come here and everything is all over the place, but it's still a fun station. WJJG.
Guerrilla Radio.
It's as our good friend, good friend Mike Gorge says, you don't want to go willy nilly, right? We got to be prepared.
Yeah, I just didn't come here at 5 minutes to 7, willy nilly, not prepared. I was here at 5 in the morning having coffee with Armand, and it was quite a day.
Is that true?
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't have any coffee. Just hot.
We got right to it.
Is it hot in here?
Yes, it's very warm in the studio today. We're running 50,000 watts.
How long was the process to determine that you would be named Armand today, Matt?
I don't know. He actually looked at me and said, "I don't like your name. Change it." And I
And he
said,
said,
"Okay,
okay."
Armand."
Well, why do you like Armand so much, George?
I thought of the great restaurant in Elmwood Park that's been friends of it, and he looks like
Home
an
of-
Armand.
Home of the Carchoffi.
Harry, White Sox, seriously.
All right, back
Dane
to the
too.
White Sox again.
White Sox. Canerco, Thomas. Who's the second baseman?
What? The second
Martin.
baseman is
These guys can
Jimenez
play.
and
Martinez.
D'Angelo Jimenez.
D'Angelo Jimenez. Our good guy Valentin at short, and of course Creedy at third this year.
We can
and all
play.
these guys in the outfield, El Caballo and
The
Rowan
Sox
and
are loaded,
Mags.
George. I was call him Joe for crying out loud.
Sox are loaded, definitely.
They're loaded, and it's gonna. And I wish I was right now. But anyway, that aside, I think the Sox are gonna have an exciting year on the south side, and we're gonna look for some big things between them and the Twins, battling for the central title. I think the Sox have gone out and picked up a couple good pitchers. Billy Koch. And
From Oakland,
Bartolo Colon. A good-looking Spaniard. He can really throw the ball.
What was his name?
Bartolo Colon. Colon, yeah.
Well, he should get his check from his
Colon
doctor.
spelled backwards is backed up. I mean, no lie.
From a promotional standpoint, nobody did more for the Cubs, I think, than Harry Carey to make them a success and, get people excited about what's going on there. Now, the White Sox, they have a different problem. They actually have to come up with marketing ideas like Elvis Day. How many people can you fit in a car day?
Day.
Bring your dog to the park day.
And this year they've consulted with me. Yeah, right. No, they called me and they were very nice. And September 21st,
George Bliss Day.
We're going to have softball day.
Softball day.
All right,
and
mark
they're going to
the
give away
calendar.
some neat things for home run contest.
I think that's great.
We're going to have Armand in that home run contest. So contact me later on that, buddy.
If Kissing Day and Bring Your Dog to the Park Day are
Same
the ones
day?
that they saved, right? Kiss Your Dog Day, that's next. Which ones do you think ended up on the cutting room floor where they just? Which
that's a
ones
great
didn't
question.
they choose? Like Light Yourself on Fire Day,
No Pants Day.
Female impersonator day.
Drag Queen Day.
Have coffee with Armand at 5:30 in the morning day. We're going to have all kinds of things. No, but that's a great question. Huh? We should ask Rob Gallus next time we see him.
Well, which ones
fell
which
through
ones
the cracks?
Just for safety reasons, I think from a liability standpoint, Bring Your Dog to the Park Day is something that, well, even from a you got dogs, they do go to the bathroom. They do bite each other, and they do bite people. I'm thinking I brought my dog, and I was mauled.
I got bit right in the buttocks by a big dog.
By
That's
a pit
not
bull.
good.
Now who's going to pay for that?
Yeah.
And I think it's the
Bring
Chicago
it.
White Sox. Or do they make you sign a waiver when you get in there?
I'm sure the dog has to put his paw on it.
And sure, dogs are popular, but for those people that are animal lovers but feel unrepresented by Dog Day, I mean, is there like bring a iguana day,
Snake
bring
day.
a lizard day, bring a poisonous spider day,
Bring your ferret day.
ferret day? Well, what do you think that the animal gets out of it? Could you?
What the animal gets, it's what he leaves. That's what you got to remember.
And is that what's stopping attendance at Comiskey Park? Is the fact that, like, geez, I'd love to go to the park, but I can't leave my dog for the day.
My
so
scorpion
I'll only
wants
go.
to play.
If Fluffy can't go, forget it. The Sox suck. You know what I mean?
I think it's a ballpark itself, but they got to do whatever they can to get people to fill those seats. Because if they don't, then Reinsdorf's just going to go back to we're not making any money. I can't, spend anything on the players if nobody shows up, and maybe with some of these marketing tools, it'll get some more people out to the park. Now, one of my favorite things they did last year was the overnight stay at the park. Now, I don't think you could get away with that in a lot of places, but that place is pretty nice. You got the Jumbotron screen. You can watch a movie.
Like Friends.
Right.
I think they did watch.
They did.
Were they League of Our Own or something?
They did. They had a movie on I heard it was quite successful.
Now, did you get to go on the field?
Were you at
camp on the field?
Was there a tent there? Was there any naughtiness going on?
Yes.
Dane.
Sleeping bags.
I'm just asking.
Right term with the naughtiness.
Well, I'm just saying, because did they turn the lights down low?
Yes. From what I heard, they shut everything down, and the skyboxes might have been open, but look out.
Was there at about maybe 1, 2 in the morning? Was the concession stand a lot of people in their pajamas scratching like, oh, they're gonna get a hot dog or something?
Getting another light beer.
Yeah, and we're going to do that this year. We're going to try to have a remote live from midnight till 6 in the morning if we can get the night license.
You're working the board.
Camp out there. I'll work the board. Yeah, the expensive.
No way.
We'll just use the facilities over there and relay the signal.
Well, it's
that is a good promotion. It really was.
Done.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. We'll just relay the signal. Well,
no problem.
I guess. I always wondered how we were going to do it. Now I know. 30 minutes after 8 o'clock, Joe Gentile Morning Show. George Bliss is the commander of this starship.
General Tommy Franks here.
Yeah, Tommy Franks. And
you're number 2. You're Colin Powell.
I'll be Colin Bartolo Powell.
Bartolo Colin.
We are Colin Powell, Bartolo Colin. No.
And Harry Colin, the former Detroit Lion.
Oh, he's got
30 minutes after, we'll be back after this.
This is Joe Gentile talking about a great restaurant run by my best friend Tony Spavone. Tony Spavone's restaurant is on Lake Street in Bloomingdale. If you want something uniquely different in Italian food, he has it. His veal parmigiana is the best in the world, and I've eaten all over the world. If you want a delightful veal parmigiana, as only Tony Spavone can make, go to Spavone's. Spavone's restaurant is on Lake Street in Bloomingdale, and you tell Anthony that the Baron sent you. Not only that, but Anthony will sing to you as you're eating in his beautiful lounge. It is an absolute joy at Tony Spavone's in Bloomingdale on Lake Street. It's the finest, or I wouldn't talk about it.
For reservations, call Spavone's at 630-529-3154.
Are you an expert on a subject? Want to have your very own radio show? Then call 493-1540. WJJG now has a limited amount of airtime available to broker out. Imagine your very own radio show. You'll talk about a subject near and dear to your heart. You'll interview the guest. You take the phone calls. No. We'll help you become a radio professional with your very own radio show. Call 493-1540 for information on brokering airtime on WJJG AM 1530, your hometown station.
Do you have a precious home video that you treasure? Well, Joe Nuccio at Vidco Service can convert it to a DVD for you. This will preserve that wedding, birthday, baptism, or whatever for a virtual lifetime. No more eaten or otherwise damaged videotapes. Transfer your camcorder or VH videos to DVD. Video cameras have been around for a long time. So in 15, 20 years, people have been taking home movies and maybe even transfer them to VHS so they can watch them on their in their VHS player. But over time, those things deteriorate, and just magnetic tape, it just wears out. This is a way to once and for all preserve it forever by turning it into a DVD. The quality is great. The quality is much better than anything else that we've got, and also it doesn't wear out. And what could be more important than your one-of-a-kind, family memories? Preserve your family members. Only $25 to transfer from a video to DVD. Call Joe Nuccio at 847-705-1000. 847-705-1000 for more info. They're located at the Stevens Point Plaza, Northwest Highway between Quinton Road and Smith Street.
This is Joe Gentile for the West 38th Athletic Club. When the seasons approach quickly, it's time to get yourself into shape. And the newly remodeled state-of-the-art 10,000-square-foot facility makes West 38 Athletic Club the premier place to shape up and tone your body. Enjoy a comfortable atmosphere as you work out, on one of their 56 machines. At West 38 Athletic Club, privacy is a major concern. On-site personal trainers, private classes, and separate saunas and steam rooms for men and women will guarantee that your workout will be hassle-free from start to finish, and Gentile can attest to that. And after you've done working out, there's plenty of room to watch the big screen TV in the lounge from the comfort of 4 full-size leather sofas. Stop by for a club tour and receive a free gift when you mention this ad. West 38 Athletic Club is located at 4401 West Roosevelt Road between Wolf Road and Manheim, or call 708-449-2255 for more information, and you tell them the Baron Joe Gentile told you to call.
Joe Gentile.
I used to dress in high heels when I played with my cousin Lois, and I used to wear dresses and all that kind of stuff.
Mornings on AM 1530 WJJG.
Oh, yeah. 35 minutes after 8 o'clock at the Joe Gentile Morning Show. George Bliss in studio. Let's see what it's like out of the roads with shadow traffic.
Some nasty delays in a couple of spots. Tell you first off, though, traffic final time today brought to you by Metabolite. Are you tired of trying to lose weight without success? Metabolite's #1 for a reason. It works. Look for Metabolite 356 or new Metabolite Ephedra free wherever you shop. Metabolite. Eastbound, east-west tollway hitting us pretty hard still. Route 59 over to Route 53. North-South 53 itself is going to slow between 75th and 63rd, and then still gets heavy beginning at Lake with that construction up on 53. Southbound's heavy into the road work as well. Eastbound northwest tollway is going to slow us down from Route 59 over to Barrington Road. A couple open spots, and it's starting to ease up. Westbound still heavy over around Lee Street out towards the Des Plaines Oasis. Travel times on the expressways look all right. The inbound Kennedy, though, has taken a dive on us. It's about 55 minutes in from O'Hare. Outbound, not even a half hour. Eisenhower running all the way in from the north-south tollway in towards downtown. Still got to give yourself a good hour or 5 minutes. 45 is coming in from Manheim. Those delays starting right about Wolf Road. Outbound, touch heavy into northbound Route 53 because of that construction. And the Stevenson in from the Tri-State, that's 46 minutes. Heavy first stop between Lamont and Cass, and then again before Harlem. Coming all the way in from 355 today, that will take you about an hour and 5 minutes as well. Forecast for today, sunny now, but it'll get partly cloudy later on in the day. Highs close to 60. Clear skies overnight, down to about 35 for the low, and then partly cloudy tomorrow as well. Highs once again, though, in the upper 50s, maybe right around 60 again. Currently 49 at O'Hare, 50 at 48 at Midway, I should say, and then again 50 at the lakefront. I'm Corey Morris with Shadow Traffic and Weather on AM 1530, Chicago's hometown station.
And we're here at WJJG, Chicago's hometown station, AM 1530, 708-493-1530. And we have on the line now one of my favorite people who I think is the best young entertainment reporter in the country, Susana Homan. Good morning, Susana.
Good morning, George. You're so sweet. Thank you for saying that.
Well, I think you're sweet. It was nice to see you yesterday at the beginning of the show today. I mentioned how you joined us at lunch at the State of Illinois building for a Greek Independence Day little get-together, and we had Anna Davlatis from Channel 5 and Kim Vadas from Channel 5 and you from the Sun-Times and all kinds of people. That was a great day, wasn't it? All kinds of Greeks.
Yep.
And remember, we did start democracy. Sorry, all you other countries.
We started everything. I mean, math, philosophy, the world owes a lot to the Greeks.
They do. We have Harry Carey here today. You remember Harry when your father was a big fan of Harry?
Oh,
Say hi to Harry.
Susanna, how are you? Boy, oh boy, I remember. What a good-looking young lady this is.
Oh, you're so sweet, Harry. I was actually at Harry Carey's last week.
Wow, listen, did you have the chicken Vesuvio?
No. I've heard it's pretty good, though.
Well, that's the best. I think that's the best meal they have, but the steak are great, too.
Actually, Susanna, you were at Harry Carey's for
That's
the
right.
big St. Patrick's Day celebration and featured a lot of people at Harry's restaurant on St. Pat's Day, right?
That's right. Apparently it's the biggest place in the city to go and celebrate St. Patrick's Day because when they opened, they were the only thing around the start of the parade route, and then the parade moved to Columbus Drive, but people still go there every year. They get 5,000 people in and out of the doors.
Wow, that's a lot of people in one day, but I'm sure you've seen that many on your travels, right?
Oh, I've seen more than that.
Boy, but where were you this past weekend, Susanna?
The big thing I did for Saturday's paper is I went to a party at a bar called Sugar. It's a dessert bar, and it was a cosmetics launch for Smashbox Cosmetics. It's the grandsons of Max Factor, who own this cosmetics company. So it was a big party over there with makeup artists and beautiful people and models. And
Dane,
like
Neal, our general manager, could use some of that makeup. So
yeah,
send
I
it
love
over.
makeup. So
Because we have cameras in the studio.
Right.
I'm a big fan of it myself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure, whatever.
Listen, I like to put on a little rouge now and again. Now already here's the pit. Okay, sorry. I get a little carried away. But Susana, what do you think, who's the biggest celebrity or the best person you've ever interviewed?
Oh, gosh. It's hard because most of the time when I meet people, it's brief, but usually memorable in some way. So I've met so many people.
Sick.
You know, I've met
Sorry.
Matt Damon and Kid Rock and Tommy Lee and Halle Berry and Brooke Shields and Jamie Lee Curtis and just so many different people out on the scene. But it's hard to say who's most memorable. Every single experience is unique in its own way. And I think it's just interesting because when you encounter celebrities on a daily basis or on a weekly basis like I do frequently, you realize that they're just normal people and they have flaws and insecurities just like anybody else. So
Don't we all? You know. Now, when is your column, your page in the paper? Is it on the weekend or?
Yes, it's every Saturday in the Sun-Times. I have a full page. And then also the Sun-Times launched a new edition called Red Streak about 6 months ago, and that's available only in the city of Chicago in red boxes. And I'm in that every Monday, Thursday, and Friday.
Oh, boy, we're going to have to start getting the red streak then, George, right?
Are you kidding? I read her on the internet every day, and I actually visit with her once in a while. And
oh, yeah.
So I really got it going with Susana. I'm going to get her here to the studio one of these days, get a picture with Joe Gentile. Now we're talking some fun.
Yeah,
her and the band together would be a great pairing.
That sounds like fun.
What's coming up next couple, 3-4 months that jumps out at you? Tell Armand where he should be hanging out, one of our hosts here today, Armand.
Sure. Well, the big thing that I'm working on right now is the Green Tie Ball, and it's a huge annual event. It's about 4,000 people. It's held at the end of summer every year outside. It's the most fabulous event of the year, and I'm co-chairing it this year, and we're having a kickoff pre-party for it Friday night at Le Passage, which is a club on Russian Oak from 7 to 9. So we're going to be doing a little kickoff celebration, getting people involved because for a 4,000-person party, there's a lot of work and planning that goes on. And that is going to be on September 20th. So everybody mark your calendars. It's the most fun party of the year. There's bands all over the place, and it's a lot of fun.
The kickoff is this weekend at La Passage?
Yes, it's Friday night at La Passage, and we're going to have free food and drink from 7 to 9.
I'm bringing Armand, Harry, and Dane, our general manager.
I know. You guys should volunteer. You could join one of my committees. It's a really fun thing.
Dane?
What does that entail? A lot of crepe paper and
stuff in goodie bags,
chairs and stuff, arranging.
It's funny because getting involved it's a lot more organized than you would think for most charitable events, because Gateway Green Committee, the people who are behind this event, they beautify the city of Chicago. They put trees and plants by the expressway exits.
Wow.
And it's Mayor Daley's pet charity. So this is an organization with a lot of pull. And, they raise a lot of money every year at this event. So it's actually a beautifully staged event, and we have a production company doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes work to make it beautiful.
So when this get-together is this Saturday at what time, and where is it at again?
Le Passage, which is a club on Russian Oak, and that's from 7 to 9 is kind of our kickoff party, and then after that everybody's just going to stay and dance and have a good time, but we have food and drink for everyone who comes from 7 to 9. And then the party itself, we're going to be doing a lot of events leading up to it. There's a big street fair in the summer. There's all sorts of things that lead up to the final Green Tie Ball, and that's September 20th.
So you're looking for volunteers to help you out to get everything going, huh?
Yeah, I mean, mainly what people should do is just come and get to know other people on the committee, because it ends up being, the Green Tie Ball is known as like a major, like kind of a hookup event in a way, because there's so many people who go. So people join the committee because they end up meeting their spouse, or they end up,
Please hand me that stapler and look how it catches your eyes.
Exactly. But it's a great networking event, and everybody's in this economy. Everybody's always looking to meet people and do things, and this is one of the ways to meet some of the most influential people in the city and to get involved with something really cool.
All
And
right,
hey,
that
it's
sounds
about,
great.
You know, beautifying Chicago, so you kind of can't go wrong.
Absolutely right.
No,
George is directing me over here to my right.
It sounds like a great event, and I think that's one of the things that sets Chicago apart is that it is one of the cleanest, most beautiful, probably the most beautiful big city, not only in America, but one of the ones in the world. And you've got to take your hat off to Mayor Daley for having events where the people can actually get involved and support that kind of thing.
See, the reason why the reason why the guys are giggling and we're having fun today with Susana is they all want to meet you. So now Friday they say,
Wait a minute,
let's
George.
go.
I've already met her, but
Well, that's true.
I'd like
But
to meet
Dane
her.
and
I wouldn't
Carmen.
mind meeting her again. This might be just
I'll meet
the
her.
avenue to meet her at the committee on Saturday.
That's right.
Now,
we can spend
Armand.
lots of time together.
All right.
Susana Armand, may God be my judge, and I'll get a digital picture today, looks very much like Tommy Lee.
Oh, okay.
Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah, right.
Tommy Lee. What is Tommy Lee? What is Tommy Lee's
He looks
last
like a
name?
50-year-old U.S. Marshal.
Would that be Tom Lee?
Tom Lee.
Tom Lee from Bellwood.
What is Tommy Lee's last name, by the way? I keep forgetting it.
Jones.
No, Tommy Lee is just Tommy Lee.
Yes,
It's
he
just
is.
Tommy
That's
Lee.
he's,
Ah,
you know,
I
he's like
gotcha.
Madonna.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
What when you talk about celebrities, some of them have come out and done these interviews where they let people have an insight into them, and some of them leave where the public has a different understanding and they've changed the perception. Some people leave and the public is even more frightened of them than they were in the past with Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Which celebrities have you had a preconceived notion because of their image or whatever they've got going on, and when you meet them, you meet a completely different person than you thought you were going to? Who made the biggest kind of 100-degree or 180-degree change in your perception?
It's hard because at this point I've met so many that I always have a hard time organizing my thoughts. But one that I think I got a lot of respect for was Lauren Holly. Because when I was out at the Grammys last year, she was friends with one of my friends, and we went to her house just to kind of hang out and get to know her a little bit. I was there with a friend of mine who's friends with her. And she was just a really cool person. She used to be married to Jim Carrey.
Yes.
And she,
Okay.
yeah,
there's a
and
great
she was
name
in
right
Dumb
there.
and Dumber,
She's-
right?
oh, yeah.
She's been in a lot of different things, and she was just a very real and genuine and kind person. Who
So why did this goofball get divorced from that? She's one of my favorites in Dumb and
She's
Dumber.
beautiful.
That scene with her red hair and she's in her ski clothes. Oh my goodness
she's
gracious.
beautiful, but she had a very traumatic dating experience with Mark Grace in Chicago here.
Oh,
And she
let's
was
not
very,
get sued. We're friends
Harry?
with the Cubs.
Yeah, she was very
Is
open
it
about
smoking
it.
related?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Grace likes his cigarette or 10.
Yeah. Well, she said she was probably the only person in the world who didn't know what a doggy was when she was dating him. You know, and she was very real and open, and to see someone's heartbreak and have them kind of open up about it was, you know, it just made me think that she was a very nice, genuine person.
See, well, that's one thing, is where you had a perception and you were opened up to the real person that probably made her the success that she is. But from another standpoint, is there anybody that maybe you were a big fan, you were looking forward to sitting down and talking with this person, and it didn't go the way you wanted, you found out that they were less nice than you'd hoped they would be?
Generally, people always put on a nice face for the media.
Yeah,
I'll say
that's
that.
true.
You know, like if they know you're there to take a picture with them, they're very nice about it and they're as polite as can be. But the one thing I will say is we always talk about Tommy Lee, because the first time I met him, I thought I was going to die. I thought he was like the hottest man alive. And then he came back to Chicago a few months later, and I actually got a chance to talk to him. And he was as sweet as can be, like nothing bad, but there was just kind of like nothing going on between his ears. Like he was just like, yeah, dude, I love Chicago. Yeah, huh. You know, and just like laughing after everything he said. And there was a lot of dude and man.
Susanna,
yeah,
what were you expecting?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess.
Tommy Lee, at least you didn't get like punched or hit or anything.
No, but it was just like
Kidney
you
punch.
just kind of expect people. I guess you credit creative types because you see them on television and you see them, you know, in videos and different things. You expect them to have more to say. I don't know. It was just that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that.
But you know, everybody puts on a face when they're at a function
Well,
or
of
with
course.
the media.
You gotta move,
I
you gotta
put
shake.
on a face every day. It's not the one everyone wants to see, but you got to go with what the Lord gave you, right?
That's hilarious. They're friendly during the interview, but while they're interviewing with Susana, they're also like beating the help and
Yeah, right.
screaming at the water boy.
Well, I tell you what, if they came in with a surly attitude, when they meet Susana, that changes in a minute.
Aw, you're so sweet.
She's the one that'll she'll turn it around right away.
Well, Susana, thanks for joining us today on Chicago's hometown station, WJJG. And we're going to see you real soon. I think we're getting together in a couple weeks for a little private thing, and maybe these guys will tag along with me. But I'll try to keep them low key.
Great.
All right, Susana, we love you, and we'll see you. We'll see you Saturday in the Sun Times, and of course 3 times every week in the Red Streak. We love you, Susana.
We love you. I love you too. Thank you, guys.
Susana's night on the town. Thank you for calling, Susana.
Bye.
And I met her, and she's a wonderful professional, great writer, and a lot of fun to be with. And guys, I will take you if you can go, Armand, Friday night. You will have.
Is it Friday night or is it Saturday night?
Friday night. It was.
We've said both times, right? And
we better get a confirmation on that, George.
We will. We'll do that right after this commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, this is Joe Gentile, the Baron of Barrington, talking to you on behalf of the American Lung Association, the nation's oldest volunteer health organization. Asthma is an uncontrolled inflammation of the lungs that leads to severe constriction of the air passages. Asthma afflicts over 17 million Americans and is the leading cause of absenteeism in our elementary schools. The staff and volunteers at the American Lung Association of Illinois are dedicated to finding a cure for asthma. Please help by sending a donation to the American Lung Association of Illinois at 1749 South Naperville Road, Suite 202, Wheaton, Illinois, 60187, or call 630-260-9600 for more information.
This is Illinois State Treasurer Judy Bartopinka for Bright Start College Savings Program. Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
And she wanted to be a ballerina.
But the little ballerina's parents knew ballerina college was very expensive, so they enrolled in Bright Start College Savings Program with an initial investment of only $25 and invested more money regularly over time.
But now she wanted to be an astronaut.
Luckily, Bright Start is a flexible program and can be used at any eligible college in the U.S.
The little girl was so happy to be an astronaut, she did ballerina twirls on the moon, and she lives happily ever after. The end.
Call Bright Start at 1-877-43-BRIGHT or visit brightstartsavings.com and start writing your child's happy ending today.
Investments in Bright Start are not guaranteed with the state of Illinois or Solomon Smith Barney Inc. and are subject to investment risk, including the loss of the principal amount invested. Solomon Smith Barney does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult the program disclosure statement for more complete information.
Want to make the most of your advertising dollar? Radio's where it's at, and WJJG, your hometown station, can help you reach out to new potential customers. WJJG provides a cost-effective medium to help you stretch your advertising budget and help your business boom. WJJG reaches out to DuPage County, the western suburbs, and the greater Chicagoland area. Think about it, Chicagoland coverage at a fraction of what the downtown stations charge. Call the WJJG sales office at 708-493-1540 to arrange to have one of our trained professionals help you help your business grow. Call now at 708-493-1540. WJJG Radio is all you need.
And we're back here. Armand, the director, says we're back at AM 1530.
Who is this Armand you keep referring to? Isn't that man?
Nice-looking guy. They're going to take the La Passage Friday night, and we're going to have fun.
La Passage sounds French. Armand sounds like it could possibly be a French name.
It is. Now it is.
Now, we've had so many problems with the French that they are starting to come back saying, don't you feel bad?
Do you see him
Don't hate me,
backpedaling?
please. Don't hate me.
And I wondered, since you guys are in studio and I haven't had you in studio to ask this question, are there any French people? Joe has asked that we watch them. Are there any French people in the Chicagoland area at all? I mean, have you ever even seen one?
A very small amount up in Andersonville.
How can you tell they're French? They were in the berets, the mustache,
I read it in
striped
the
shirt
paper.
with the neckerchief.
I'm not going to Bastille Day, and I'm not buying any French water products or cosmetics.
Me neither.
I'm gonna boycott any Pepe Le Pew cartoons.
You tell me that Harry Carey today didn't absolutely carry this show, Dane.
This
guy is incredible.
Yes.
Well, guys,
a star was born today.
Guys,
no, a star was born, but a star
reborn.
A star just had a birthday today.
Incredible. Well, I want to thank Armand, of course, and my good general manager, Dane, Neal, Joe, and Carol, and the incredible Dino Dino Tiberi.
I think that's good. Incredible Dino.
Yeah.
Incredible
You know what,
Dino. When you got a cape on and
watch out.
and a top hat.
Guys, in keeping with the Sinatra Station theme here, I did find something kind of rare on the internet. You can all that, but I want to wish the best of luck to all our troops. We lost a good friend last Thursday, a young kid down in Kankakee, Illinois. That got killed in a helicopter crash. Ryan Bupre, who went to Bishop McNamara High School, and we're going to send out our sympathies to his family and everything. But we found a Frank Sinatra that's really something. We're going to end it today, and thanks for calling today, and we'll be back real soon here, and Joe and Carol will be back too. This is George Bliss signing out, and
look
see you
out
later,
the
everybody.
window, George. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
Here's Frank Sinatra as we go. Good day, everybody.